Hello, Internet. We are here for our UPIC Gaming follower one-shot. We have with us two of our wonderful followers of the UPIC Gaming channel, Michael and Leonore. They have participated in our giveaway and will be joining us through this rousing and hopefully terrifying adventure that we are about to embark upon today. If you keep an eye out, or if you like, follow, subscribe, all UPIC Gaming stuff, keep an eye out in the future, and you too can play in a follower one shot. I don't really have many announcements other than typical UPIC Gaming stuff that's going to be happening over the next week. We have Ballon d'Or tomorrow, and Survivors Complex every Saturday, same as always. Otherwise, I think everybody here is ready to pretty much jump into this, right? Yeah?
Yeah.
All right. A couple of things, if you watch any of the way that I DM, I'm doing a couple of things differently today. We went ahead and beforehand and rolled initiative as a group, and that's just going to persist throughout the entire time. If you get a little confused while we're not rolling initiative, that is why. So we went ahead and determined that. Some people rolled really good, some people not so good, but we'll just see how that pans out. We're also doing everything sort of loose, theater of the mind as we proceed. Again, just to kind of keep in that horror mindset. So we'll see how all that pans out. So otherwise, we will go ahead and get into the game. All right. So, darkness. You all feel this pull at yourselves. You can't see anything around you. You find yourself sort of swimming in this sea of emptiness, of this cold desperation that just envelops you. After a few moments, you all find yourselves, your eyes flickering open, your faces pressed against the cold, hard stone surface of some place unknown to you. You begin to look up and pull yourself on the floor, feeling sore, as if you've just been dropped from a great height or hit by something very, very hard. You begin to look around you, your eyes straining for clarification in this dark and dusty chamber. Looking to your left and the right, you notice that there are others rousing around the same time as you. A number of strange individuals you don't recognize, each one looking as confused and bewildered as you are. The interior of the chamber that you find yourself in as you begin to pull yourself to your feet is a rough, worked stone floor that leads up to what looks to be a church, a chapel. You look around and you see an altar on the far side, instead of steps leading up to it. Everything's broken. The pews, the benches shattered. You see scorch marks across the ground, burn marks surrounding you, and the floors and the ceiling. Broken windows and shattered glass litter the area. Looks as though a horrible calamity befell this place that you find yourself in. You feel exhausted and you feel this sense of something's missing. You think back as to why you're here. You don't know where you are, or why you're here, or what you were doing. You look to the others around you and they have the same expression on their faces. So I'm going to have each one of you sort of describe your character for a moment, and what you were doing in these first few moments of waking. Kyle, why don't you go first?
Well, the first thing that you would probably notice about Quinlan is that he has slate gray skin and 4 arms. Like, the two regular humanoid sets, and then right under he's got another pair. Bald or like clean shaven. He's got kind of a scruffy beard. The hair is mostly translucent. The skin itself is, as I said, like slate gray. And he is, I think he's like 6 foot tall or so. As he stands up, you can tell that he's like 6 foot tall and wearing loose fitting clothing with no shoes. So he's got bare feet.
Okay. How about Leonore? You're muted still.
You're muted.
Gotta get used to that. Sorry.
Yeah. You also see a woman. She's getting up with worn clothes with leather as armor. And she has distinct blue teal skin and hair. Her hair is wavy, almost as if it were moving underwater, almost. Her ears are a bit pointed, but they don't look elf-like. They look a bit stranger, with some earrings on her ears, on her eyebrow, and she's looking around with very dark. Almost her whole eye is dark with almost no white, and she's blinking a lot as she's looking around everywhere. She has a bow with her.
Sarah.
Well, this beast of a man is getting up. He is about almost 8 feet tall, and he's pretty much built like a giant Mack truck. He's got dark gray skin that kind of somewhere in between a tan and a gray, not quite sure. And he's got dark brown hair, and he's basically just like making sure everything's there. He's got his shield and his warhammer. And he is not sure about any of you. So.
Okay. Michael.
Abanadu rolls over and pushes himself off the floor. He stands up and groans as he rubs his head and looks around at the others. He's just under 8 feet tall, a big, burly brute of a man, dressed all in leather armor, a shield slung over his back, a spear in a quiver holder at the back, slung over his back as well. His skin is sort of a dark, yellowy white, almost like ivory statue. And his eyes are totally white, no pupils, it would seem. And he has what appear to be sort of tribal markings all over his face. He looks like he's been carved out of stone himself. He looks around quizzically, and then he starts patting the pockets of his clothes, a little worried, until he pulls out a small flute, literally, so small, tiny, it like wraps right up into his fist. And then he sort of sighs with relief and puts it away again.
Okay. And lastly, Savannah.
My character, Ilithia, is sort of a point of sunshine and brightness in a very dark and gray room. Ilithia is a high elven woman, using the human equivalent of years, appearing to be in her late 30s, early 40s. She's pale, tall, a slender kind of wisp of a woman. She has long platinum blonde hair that she keeps pulled up in a twist on the back of her head, although there are some strands of it kind of hanging unkempt around her face, and her very long, even for an elf, pointed ears. Her eyes are hazel colored and always alert behind her glasses. Ilithia wears bright yellow robes with a sunburst stitched across the chest. Her gold-rimmed glasses are always either perched on her nose or hanging from a chain around her neck. And she wears a choker with a large, clear, round gem in the center. Her robe is cinched in at the waist with belts adorned with lots of loops and pockets and pouches, some of which have papers and quills and different things kind of sticking out of them, other little baubles. She wears a quarterstaff on her back and carries a very large black leather-bound book that's buckled shut with a strap. It has a big sunburst sigil on the front as well.
And as you all look around, noticing each other and taking in these strangers around you, you do notice a few more things as you get to your feet. There are a large set of doors, wooden, that lead out of this chapel into the dusty, gray, murky sky of the city beyond. You can see out the doors because one of them is nearly blown off of its hinges, shattered with shrapnel, large pieces of wood the size of daggers, littering the ground around it, to which you can see the sky beyond and the distant patter of rain as it sweeps over the city. Looking above, you also notice that much of the rubble around you did not come from the pews and the broken stone of the interior, but in fact fell from the ceiling, as there is a large hole gaping open looking to the sky beyond above you as well.
I kind of look around and look at the hole and look at the scorch marks and just kind of, oh dear. I hope I didn't do that.
Do we remember our names?
You do. You know your names. You know just vaguely where you're from. And it doesn't seem to be here. You don't recognize the place around you. But you don't recognize the people in the room with you.
I don't know about the rest of you, but I am far from home.
Does anybody know where are we? What just happened?
Here's a question, Sean. Because he just woke up, doesn't really remember where he is, and Common technically isn't his first language, would he be speaking deep speech at first?
Maybe. You understand what they're saying. You understand their language, but that is definitely the more comfortable language to you.
Then that's what he starts in, however Sean describes deep speech.
He begins to speak this four-armed creature. Essentially, many of you don't recognize his race or origin. Begins to speak in this hissing, very guttural language, almost like with this discordant mix of very hard clacking noises with this sort of residual slurping noise as well. It's a really gross language to listen to.
Abanadu is going to go to the door and look outside.
Okay. So as you all begin to look around, you see this hulking giant of a man begin to make his way towards the broken doorway. It's partially open, so you're able to sort of push open the rest and look out the front doors. And what you see before you is a large green space, the central, or a courtyard to whatever structure you're in. And as you look around, you realize that this mostly broken and ruined structure right now is perhaps a monastery. There are a number of other kind of outlier buildings placed around this central, very modest chapel. And there's a low wall that surrounds the perimeter. And you look out to the city beyond, and you see for the first time that you are in a sprawling city in the center of it, really. You see houses with gray slated roofs. You see winding grids of streets spread out for probably about 2 or 3 miles in front of you. You see birds flock off a nearby rooftop, and very distinctly out in the distance, you hear a shattering and horrible screech break the silence, immediately cut off.
Abanadu immediately pulls the spear from out of his back, spins it around, and sets it on the floor. As he says back over his shoulder, I don't know if any of you know where we are, but we should find out quickly. Something is out there.
I will go join him at the door. I want to look around for the source of the sound and if I am in any kind of high ground to see if I can see the ocean.
Okay, yeah. Go ahead and just make me a perception check.
Okay.
You said it was a monastery, right?
It appears to be. Yeah.
Can I, because he is a monk, and probably noticing that it's very similar to some of the things that he's been on, he's going to try to figure out if it's a certain, I don't want to say denomination, because monk traditions and stuff like that, just to see if he could figure out where he is in relation to what he knows and what he's trained in compared to everything else.
Okay. You make me a religion check. Would you roll?
An 8.
An 8. Okay.
Yeah.
You can't tell the source, or you can't discern the source of the scream. It was cut off very quickly, and by the time you get to the door, you hear it echoing off some of the nearby buildings, but it was too far off to be able to tell its direct source. You, however, can see the ocean. It looks as though this city actually sits right at the edge of a bay, of a massive bay, kind of sprawling out before you. You can see the landscape stretching out to either side, and then just ocean for miles and miles.
Okay. Would I be able in any way to try and understand where I am, seeing the coastline?
Yeah, why don't you make I'll say a survival check. And Kyle, what did you roll?
Rolled a 10.
A 10. You can't discern the exact nature of the monastery or where you might be, but it is not familiar to you. This is not the sort of monastery you trained in. The architecture is odd. It's not something that's familiar.
Mm-hmm.
Can I look around and see if I recognize basically kind of the same thing that Kyle did, but recognizing any religious iconography?
Yeah, you can also make
being a cleric.
check.
Cool.
Yeah, and let's see. Shiari, what did you roll for yours?
13.
13. Okay. It's hard to tell. It's you'd have to get a better idea of the coastline, probably have to get a little bit higher vantage point, or get closer to it to have an idea of where you might be.
Okay.
Abanadu backs up into the room to a place where he can see everybody and says, perhaps we should know each other first before we continue. I am Abanadu. I come from the mountains. I'm not sure where they are from here.
Well, hello. I'm Alithia. I'm from one of the universities.
What is a university?
It's like a school. People go there to learn.
Do you have storytellers?
Oh, yes.
Well, I am Shiari. I was on my ship when this happened, I think. That's where I should be.
People call me gentle.
What are you?
Because I didn't say before, good call. I'm a Furbolg and a cleric, but I don't really have a home.
What is this Furbolg?
Me. That's what I am.
He speaks again and then notices that with the crazed looks of, don't understand you, kind of shakes his head and goes, sorry, common's not the first language I learned. My name is Quinlan. I have no idea where I am either, and it looks nowhere like Arkshaw.
Gentle, what did you roll, by the way? Religion
I
check.
got a 26.
26. Wow, that's pretty good. You first good roll of the day. You look around, and the architecture of this building is a bit different. Who, I guess, for everyone else, who's your patron deity?
So I forgot one thing on my character sheet, and I can't remember. Isn't there a Sarthian god of, like, basically war?
Alarius. Yeah.
Thank you. That's what it was. Yes,
Yeah.
Alarius.
Okay. Yeah, it's definitely not it's not your temple. It's in the iconography is not one that you worshipped in. Based on your knowledge of it, though, you recognize this monastery. The central worship of it probably relates to Jarli.
Well, I, like the rest of you, don't know where we are, or what I was doing before this. This looks to be a temple of Charlie. Does that mean anything to anybody?
What is a
No.
Charlie?
It's a god.
Can I roll to see if I know anything particularly interesting?
Yeah, I was going to ask
about
that same
the
question.
Sure. Anybody, if they want to, can make
Just
a
like
roll for it. If they
A
want.
religion again?
Yeah, just religion.
Got a 6.
20.
Okay. You do know Jarli is a one of the 6 deities of the Paramount Convergence, the major pantheon of Sarthia. You know that Jarli is the god of secrets and the void, a sort of a negative space, a dark space where bad things come from.
Fascinating. Well,
Well, I just have one very interesting question. Anyone else hear that scream?
Yeah.
yes.
All right.
Yeah.
Seems we're in a very dark place. In a temple to a very dark god.
A dark god.
Yes,
Well.
well, Charlie, as the name is in my books, is a god of the void, darkness, and secrets.
I don't like secrets. Secrets are opposite of telling stories.
And terrible secrets.
Well, how about we get out of here?
First, we should take the lay of the land. It is the best idea, I think. Abanadu would like to look to see if there is a second story, stairs, a ladder, any way to get up higher so you can look out over the area.
Okay. You step out. You step outside to kind of survey, or are you doing that from looking around on the inside?
If it's possible from the inside to see any way to get to the next floor.
Okay. You kind of survey the area, and as you look around, kind of the first person to really wander around this interior, you see that set into an alcove behind where the altar is. There is a narrow set of spiraling stairs that go up.
So I look back and I say, there are stairs here and I plan to go up.
I'll follow you.
Me too.
Okay. So you all head back, and you find it hard as Abanadu leading the way. This stairwell was not meant for someone of your stature. You kind of squeeze together and begin to pull yourself very like taking probably 3 steps at a time as you head up this narrow little stairwell. Eventually, at the top, you emerge on a very small platform, probably only about 10 by 10 feet, with large bell on the top, a bell tower for the monastery. The rest of you kind of come to a halt as Avenadu, you reach the top, and there's not really a whole lot of space to move around up here. All of you just slamming into each other.
Yeah, okay, so maybe coming up here all at once, probably not a good idea.
However, you get, as you reach the top, you look around, having the first really good vantage point of 360 degrees around you. It looks as though this monastery is built on nearly one of the highest elevations of this city. There's another large structure out to the east, where there is a large sort of, I guess what am I trying to say? A keep, a castle of some sort, with tall spires stretching up probably a good 100 feet above where you currently are. However, as you look around, you can see the walls of the city stretching out around you. You can see that on the far side of the city, away from the harbor, grasslands stretch out far, far to the north. And you see towering through and above the grasslands, far, far away, miles and miles away, a towering volcano, a mountain that's kind of giving off this mist, this smoke near the top.
Do I know this volcano?
Make a survival check.
Being a storyteller, could I make a history check?
I'd allow that, yes.
Can I, in the meantime, make a check to see if the volcano seems active or if it would be active in the near future?
Yeah, you could try that. You could do a survival check for that too. Would you roll, Avenadu?
20.
20. All right. You, it kind of comes to you in pieces. You strain to really grasp this knowledge, but something sparks in you this story that you once heard of an island to the north in an area called, or a region called Roran, an island called with a city, the elves on it, called Svenmalsphere, that was built at the foot of a massive volcano. That you recall pictures you'd seen drawn of this cityscape and of this impressive geological or geographical wonder, and it immediately comes to mind.
I will back up into the room a little way, being very careful not to hit the bell, so that others can come in if they want. And as I come in, I say to them in a low voice, "There was once a traveler who came to the mountains where I lived. It was a dwarf who told us about an island he visited called Rorir, something like this, that was built a city of elves at the bottom of a volcano. I do not know if this is the place. Maybe you have heard of it, any of you?"
Trying to get good with names here. Ilithia. The name sounds familiar of this place. You aren't sure why, but definitely you've heard of this Svenmalsphere.
That sounds familiar to me. I don't know why, but it sounds right.
Abanadu would like to look around and see if he can see any movement of people as opposed to animals, or listen for anything outside, and even if he can sort of determine where that noise came from that he heard earlier.
Okay, yeah, you can do that. You make a perception check, and Shiari, what did you?
I rolled a 10.
Okay, a 10. And what was it you were trying to determine exactly?
Trying to see if the volcano was presently active.
Okay. It looks like, based on what you're seeing and kind of the smoke drifting off the top, it could be active. You aren't entirely sure. You'd have to probably know some more about the region and that, but it's possible.
Okay.
Perception check from Amanadu. What'd you get?
16.
Okay. You kind of pull yourself back to the top and begin to scan around. You're looking for more signs of movement and more commotion out there.
Any people as opposed to more animals? Like you said, I saw birds earlier, so I know there's animal life here of some sort. I'm looking for people, any movement of people, and any sounds of people.
Okay. You listen and peer out on the cityscape. As you look back towards the harbor, you see what looks to be a square, a town square, probably a mile away from you. It's very small in the distance. You see a faint bit of movement out there, almost like ants kind of dancing around in that square. In a moment, though, you see a kind of a shifting there for a second, and suddenly this small black dot coalesces, and then there's this explosion of black fire almost in this area that roars up like a column in the center of the city. All of you actually, as those of you that are up there and kind of looking around, you catch just the glimpse of it as the fire roars up towards the sky, and then it dissipates. And almost like an echo, you hear this scream followed by the shockwave of this explosion. Just rocks the side of this bell tower. The bell itself begins to clang a bit.
Abanadu will quickly crouch down.
Okay.
Sherry,
He grabs the bell to stop it.
Sherry, when she sees the flame, she just goes and hits like the person behind her.
Okay.
Can I do like an Arcana check to see if I recognize that as some kind of like spell?
Sure.
22.
22. It's hard to say. There are a few things that could have caused that sort of effect. It could have been a spell. You think that you'd probably have to examine the site of the explosion to get a more accurate read on it. But based on what you saw, there are a few spells that begin to come to mind that could have caused that effect.
Probably not a good idea being in this bell tower, so if anyone wanted to do anything, we'd all be screwed. So I think it's time we get down.
Well, if we're going to figure out what's going on and where we are, if I could examine the site of what just happened, I might be able to figure it out a little bit. Or not, or we could
Perhaps.
just go somewhere else. I don't
I
know.
think we should head there, she says very hesitantly.
Gentle just tries to turn around, being a narrow staircase and being a very large humanoid, and goes just walks off, going downstairs.
Okay. Oh, I totally blanked on this, but there's something else I forgot to inform you guys.
There are vampires here.
You're all at half health, by the way. Rounded up. I forgot to specify that before.
Sean!
I know. It
That
sucks.
sucks.
but
That sucks for one person in our group.
So Gentle's dead.
it happened. Before it goes too much further. I got so enthralled in your excellent
Well,
Rounded up or down?
up.
Cool.
When everybody gets down the stairwell and everything, as everybody gathers, Gentle looks at everybody and goes, is anyone feeling not quite up to normal standards for themselves?
I feel a little ill.
Yeah, are we like bloody or anything, or is it just?
It's not really. It kind of the that swimming sensation, that exhaustion that I described before. It's not physical wounds. You don't feel physically hurt, but you are definitely drained.
I feel awful.
Yeah, I
I
thought it
don't
was
feel
just
like
me.
myself.
Well, I can maybe help here. I am gonna go ahead. Probably do too much, but I'm gonna go ahead and cast Beacon of Hope.
Okay.
And then I'll go ahead and do a heal for everybody. Or I think I'll do mass healing word. So
Okay. So you're gonna try to max out the
Yep.
mass
right.
healing word.
Yep.
Okay.
So that will do that, and then mass healing word. You know you want to work for me? Oh yeah, I gotta pick a level. And I'll cast mass healing word at 4th level.
Okay. So what would be the maximum on that? It'd be 2d4 or 3d4?
Sorry, I'm pulling up the spell because it's being goofy on my sheet. It is it's 1d4. So, and then when I cast it higher, so it'll be 8 points of healing to everybody.
Plus your wisdom modifier.
Oh yes, which is always a thing that I forget. I have not played a cleric in a very long time. Sorry. My wisdom modifier, where are you? It's 5. So 12.
13.
13. Yes. Math. Sorry.
Okay, so everybody gets 13 points of healing.
He kind of stretches a little bit, kind of cracks his neck. Oh, that does feel a lot better. Thank you.
Thank you, gentle.
Oh,
Thank you.
Do you need more help? I can help with the healing as well. I know some special songs to sing.
no, I think we should. After seeing that, and he points off into the direction of the big column of black fire, we don't want to max out everything right now, just in case.
There could be some very bad things down there.
Okay.
Shall we
Then
go?
we should go see what they are. It will be glorious if we get into battle with them and have stories to tell afterwards.
I love it.
Right.
Let's go.
Let's do it.
Okay.
Okay. So, you all proceed out the doorways of this cathedral, and make your way down to the main chamber, or not cathedral, it's a monastery. Make your way out into the central courtyard and beyond the short walls leading on a narrow path down into the city. As you... someone move their token on the thing?
Sorry, that was me by mistake.
That's okay. You begin making your way through or down towards the city streets as this narrow pathway ends at a much larger, well-paved roadway. As you reach the bottom, or as you approach it, you do notice a few things that you didn't see from above. Most of the doors along the streets are open. The houses look vacant. You don't see anybody in the immediate area moving. What you do notice is that there are probably about 15 to 20 bodies strewn across the city streets. Some pressed up against buildings, others look seared and kind of cast aside as if knocked down an alleyway by an explosion, similar to what you saw before. There are other char marks across the ground, but just bodies interspaced all down the roadway.
Ibanadu will cautiously approach one of them, kneeling down and taking a look to see if he can determine how long they've been dead or what could have killed this person.
Okay, make a
I'll assist him in that.
so make a medicine check with advantage.
Quinn is going to, while they're doing that, like walk a little bit further and see if, just check down alleys, see if there's anyone still alive, anyone still, not blown to smithereens.
Okay.
12.
12. You begin inspecting some of the bodies and looking over them. They don't appear as they've been dead very long. Probably no more than a matter of hours. You see a few different... The causes of death are pretty easy to determine for a lot of them. Some of them looked as though they've been run through with swords, others with daggers. Some of them looked as though they've been burned. You do find at least one body, though, that doesn't have any visible wound on it. Definitely dead, cold, no heartbeat, but appears to be unharmed.
Benadu turns to the others and says, I have a magic song that will let me speak with a dead person who has passed to get their story. Shall I ask one of them something?
That would be helpful, I guess. And Shiari is with her bow out, just looking around, making sure nothing moves around them.
I think that's a fine idea. While they're doing that, I look around and try to find the two bodies that are the most intact.
Okay. So which body are you trying to, Abenadu, which body are you trying to speak with?
The one that you said didn't appear very damaged at all. It looks like a dead person. I can't tell what killed it.
Yeah.
Would I have any reason to believe, without having an ability to sense such things, that this could be an undead creature? Just because I know that I would know that the Speak with Dead spell will not work on an undead creature.
Yeah. I would say that, other than casting the spell and finding out firsthand, go ahead and make an Arcana check for me.
9.
Okay, you inspect the body, looking it over. You don't find any traces that it's undead.
Okay, so I quietly begin humming over the body and singing a song that goes something like, please come back and tell me your tale. Don't go now, don't ever quail. Before the light, before the dark, return to me now.
Okay. That was a beautiful song. You kneel over the body and begin your humming and progress into the vocalization of your song. As you do, there's this reverberation in the air, and the body begins to sort of twitch and stir a bit as it rears up. The lifeless eye is not really looking towards you, just looking up towards the sky, and the mouth hangs open. What would you like to ask it?
What killed you, my friend?
There's kind of this gasping noise as air returns to the ravaged lungs of this creature, or this human before you. Human man, probably middle-aged, very average in his height and appearance. He breathes. I saw it only for a moment. I have never seen its like before. Doesn't seem to know.
Where are we? What is this place?
It's so hard to remember. Svenmosphere. I don't belong here.
I turn to the others and I say, I have only 3 more questions to ask it. Is there anything anyone wants to know other than where we are or what killed it?
Possibly, how did it die? What killed it? Or what, manner by which was it killed?
He said he did not know what killed it. He only saw it for an instant. He breathed in my ear.
Maybe ask him what other things or attackers he saw here, because of the other people didn't die like him.
My friend, tell me now from this part of your story, the others that lie dead around here, did you see them die? If so, how did they die?
When it came, before I saw it, they turned on each other. They screamed, brother killing brother. My friends, I watched them die at each other's blades, not recognizing one another. The fear ran deep.
Do you come from here, or do you come from somewhere else?
A visitor here. I traveled with my family, seeking to see the city. I came for the festival and we should have never come here.
What festival did you come for?
The solstice. Beautiful. We saw the stars align. I wish to go to them again. And you watch as the body returns to its lifeless state once again.
Could I make a history check to determine if I know any stories of a solstice festival as pertains particularly to that particular island or any other island?
Yeah. Go ahead and make a history check.
11.
11. There are, as far as you can remember, and your mind goes a bit fuzzy as you try to recall this, you know that you should know stories of these of festivals this is who you are. You thrive off these stories, but you can't remember.
I bang my head for a moment, looking incredibly annoyed with myself, and I say to the others, my mind is cloudy now. Have any of you heard of this solstice festival?
I'm walking around really weirdly looking at all the dead bodies, trying to find the 2 that are the most intact.
Okay.
And I'll just, while I'm doing that, just think back, because I recognize the name Svenmalsphere.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll just try to think back and help, I guess.
Okay. Anybody else want a shot at it?
As he's walking around, he kind of looks back to the group. Is like, I'm not actually from here, so the solstice to you means something completely different to me.
Can I try and think if I remember anything about it?
Yeah. So the 2 of you can make history checks as well.
I got a 17.
Nice.
And an 18.
18. Nice. the two of you, as you think about it, so Shiari, as you think about it, you gain brief images of coming into harbor, of spending time amongst cities similar to this. You recall festivals around the solstice, spring, winter, fall, and summer. As far as this island specifically, you do think you briefly remember tales of powerful magics being used during this time. That it was a gathering, a celebration of this elven heritage, so closely tied to the arcane. You remember through your world travels, sort of witnessing some of these, and the wonders that were produced as part of them. Ilithia, you have a sort of different recollection as you begin to dwell on this and begin to think back to this, and you suddenly have a flash of memory. This, as a child, running through streets much like these, climbing up on posts to watch as parades proceeded to the town square, watching these wonderful magical displays as part of these festivals. And you look and you see standing beside you a young girl, similar in appearance to yourself, slight wisp of a girl clinging to your skirt. You kind of rub your eyes and look around, and as you do, you see at the edge of the street corner that young girl standing there. She looks at you for a moment, holds out a hand to cry out to you, and then vanishes into the ether.
Oh dear.
You okay?
Do I remember who she is?
Mm-hmm.
It's Juno?
Mm-hmm.
I think I've been here.
Like, recently?
Well, no, as a child. That was, well, longer ago than I care to admit to people I just met. But I've been to one of these festivals a very long time ago with my sister.
Well,
Very strange.
at least someone's memory is coming back.
Well, I remember I have this notion that this festival was supposed to be impressive because of the magic the elves used in the festival. Do you think, I mean, all of our memories have been messed with. The memory of the people were affected, their minds were affected here. Would something with that magic have gone wrong?
The man said something about seeing the aligning of the stars. Maybe these elves made something come through from somewhere else.
Well, perhaps something went terribly wrong. There is a lot of magic in the festivals, if I remember correctly. We should keep going.
Do I hear anything? Like, because he's been silent, just a silent guardian for this whole time, just looking around. Does he, like Abenadu said, you know, you saw the birds and everything, but are there, like, any other creatures in the city, or is it just like a ghost town?
It's pretty quiet, other than the occasional bird going, kind of flocking from the rooftops. However, as you begin to focus on this, you do hear from an area that's probably not too far from where you are, the sound of shattering glass.
Does anyone else hear it, or is it just me?
All of you hear this in pretty quick succession.
Oh,
Shh,
dear.
shh, shh, shh. Something's here. And he-
Should we go see?
Yeah, he slowly is like, I want to go check it out. Just if something bad happens, okay, just know I didn't do it. And he starts walking off slowly, like making his way.
If I might,
Abanadu follows after him. I will come with you.
right. If I might
was-
have one.
I was going to go with you quietly, if that's possible.
Okay.
More the merrier.
Okay. Before that, Alithia, you were saying
If I
something.
might have just one moment, I'd like to conjure us up some backup.
Back up.
Back
Yes.
up.
Do I?
Abanadu steps back a bit.
It shouldn't explode. That's probably a safe distance, though.
Abanadu shield in front of him.
I take.
How big is Abanadu? Like, how tall is he?
7'7".
Oh yeah, like Quinn just kind of like steps just right behind him.
Okay.
I take 1 minute, and I would like to cast Animate Dead on 2 of the bodies.
Okay. So you find 2 of the bodies. So you're looking for zombie making bodies.
Yeah.
Mostly intact.
Yeah.
Okay. So
During this minute, Abanadu will be watching and scanning the area to watch for any potential attackers.
okay. You
Same.
Make okay. You guys can make perception checks. So you okay.
And I get an extra one because of my tradition, so I get 2.
Okay, so you find 2 of the bodies, and you all watch as this very kind of proper-looking woman goes over and grabs by the feet one of these bodies that's mostly intact and begins to drag it across the ground next to another one that's intact, kind of thump, onto the ground. Drags the other one a bit closer. Thump. She kind of rubs her hands together, and you take out your spell book, begin to leaf through it, and begin to incant in some obscure arcane language the ritual to not quite a ritual, but the incantation to create these creatures. And as you do, you all kind of hear this as the slow wind begins to swirl around the 2 bodies, and you watch as the 2 of them kind of begin to pull to their feet, just rising off the ground into the air, and then landing to their feet, kind of this slouched and lifeless look to their eyes as they stand there, both of them turning in your direction, Alithia, and just letting out these dull, like, gasping noises.
I inspect them a little bit, make sure they're standing up straight.
Yeah, as straight as they
Behaving.
can. Yeah.
All right, so I turn back around to face everybody. And so, as Alithia turns back around, she's wearing this choker with a big, really pretty, clear gem in it. It's gone jet black. And then slowly the darkness in it kind of fades away, and then it's clear again. Well, all right.
Backup.
This is
Okay.
back. Abanadu will sort of walk around them in a circle, inspecting them and prodding them with his spear.
Okay, you kind of prod them, and one of them kind of studies himself a bit, but just stays there and actually poke and prod him.
Abanadu turns to Alithia and says, "Promise me if I die, you'll not do this to me."
Oh, all right. Anyone else?
I haven't seen that in 20 years, and it's still impressive to this day.
Thank you. They're very friendly. Well, as much as they
The
can
ones
be.
that I saw years ago, they weren't so friendly.
Just a question. Does everyone want to go inspect whatever that was, and do we want to do so quietly? Sherry asked.
Quietly would be better.
I can
use sneaky type.
a bit.
Well,
I can help everybody else be a bit more sneaky as well.
well, just so you all know, I'm not the quietest one, no matter what I do.
Perhaps
Well,
Armor makes a lot of noise.
I can give us a little help anyway.
that would be good, I think. And perhaps Gentle and myself could hang a bit back. Just a bit, like back up. So we
Back
don't-
up for the
So-
backup.
Back up for the backup. So we don't interfere, but we also won't get too far away from the rest of you.
It's a good
Okay.
idea.
That's fine.
So
I'm just very
before
bright.
before everybody goes to their positions, Shiari will focus for a moment and say some words, and the shadows around them start to move a bit naturally as I am casting Pass Without a Trace on everybody.
Okay.
Nice.
So you all feel this, though the area was already silent, you all notice as you feel the drops of rain begin to catch up as the storm begins to make its way over the city. These drops of rain kind of provide this staccato just around you. However, suddenly it's all completely muffled as you find the air around you completely or almost completely silenced. Your footsteps no longer making noise in the mud around. So I need everyone that's going to be sneaking, which seems like everyone, to make stealth checks, including the zombies, if you're going to try to get them to move at all quietly.
I will instruct them to move as quietly as possible.
And go ahead and just read out your results in the order that they're rolled. And don't forget to add the +10.
So I had a natural 20 before the +10.
Yeah, so what's that put your total at?
33.
33, nice.
I got a 30.
30, nice.
I got a 20.
Okay,
I also got a 20.
okay.
And with the +10, I got a 37 because I also got a natural 20.
Wow, nice.
And do I need to roll separately for each zombie? You're gonna roll
Go for it, yeah.
separately.
You shouldn't have asked.
They got 23 and 25.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot I still have those on Whisper.
Yeah, they're on Whisper. I don't know how to change it.
I'll change it.
They did better than me.
Yeah.
So Abanadu and the two zombies and Shiree suddenly disappear.
Pretty much.
Basically, you all find yourselves having to look around to find Abanadu and Shari as they just vanish from your perception. That should be fixed now with the whispering. However, you begin to make your way very quietly, as quietly as possible, down the street and rounding the corners to head towards that breaking noise, which you still hear a bit of this like crunching noise from the glass making its way. So somebody's moving around in the broken glass just a few street corners away. Who's leading right now, this stealth parade?
Technically, Quinn will, but I don't know where two of the party members are, so who knows?
Okay.
Abanadu would also be up near the front, but doesn't mind if somebody goes ahead of him at any point.
Okay. I just need to know who would be seeing this first. So,
Shiree, did you want to go ahead as the ranger and sort of scout out ahead of us?
hmm
Yeah, I mean, I will move with whoever is ahead, and I basically want to keep an eye out for any other presences around us.
okay.
Yeah.
Well, you go ahead and make a perception check then, as you're scouting ahead.
So, 18.
18. Okay. So you begin to move ahead of the group. The rest you can just faintly make out Shari as she darts between small obstructions in the alleyways, back and forth, finally kind of rounding around the corner. Shari, as you look around, you don't see anything moving as you stalk towards this crunching noise. You make your way up to the edge of a building, and you can hear it just on the other side, this noise, very loud now. You go and you turn your head around the corner, and you can see standing there a number of figures. 5 people, humanoids. There's a couple humans, a couple elves, and a dwarf, all standing outside what looks to be a trade shop of some sort. The window has been shattered, and they're currently pulling objects from the window. Barrels and rope and weaponry, just laying it out in the street. It looks like they're looting, essentially, this shop. You do notice scattered around, though, in this square, in this open area outside the shop, there are a number of bodies here as well, all of them looking like they've been slashed, cut, stabbed, basically massacred by this group. And you do see that these 5 marauders essentially, or they're covered in blood.
Okay, is anybody up there with me? I think, yeah.
Yeah,
Quinlan was.
Yeah, and Abanadu is just behind him.
I turn to them quietly and just make a look to see if they are going to, well, if they're going to say anything or take any initiative, seeing what we just saw.
So Abanadu begins to motion for you to back up.
We do.
Did we see that, or just she saw it? Or he? Sorry.
With all of your movement and getting up there, I'll assume that you all kind of peered around the corner and saw this mess.
And you said humanoids. They humans or?
Yes, there are 2 humans, a man and a woman. There's 2 elven men and a dwarf.
Okay. We should go back to the others, tell them what we've seen, and then decide.
Yeah, right now we're kind of outnumbered, so just let's back up just a little bit, get the others, see what we can go around them if we want, but just know they did just massacre a whole bunch of people.
We do not know that they massacred them.
They're covered in blood.
It really looked like it.
And they look like it.
They could have fallen down,
Benefit of the doubt.
So we rejoin the others?
Okay.
Yeah. I tell them what we saw.
Oh dear.
This is quickly becoming one of my least favorite places. And I don't even know why I'm here.
Perhaps we should just go around.
We should find out their story. Maybe find out if they are responsible for this.
You mean like the explosion and everything?
Well, Quinlan says he thinks that they killed these people around the corner.
It did look like it.
All right.
But what's our objective here? Are we trying to get away, or are we trying to what?
I'm interested. Go ahead.
We should find out as much as we can, the story of this place.
Perhaps they remember something important.
Yeah, I'm interested in finding out why we're here, or what for.
Besides, the dead guy points to the one that Abanadu talked to. He said that friends, families, everyone just turned on each other. So maybe that's what happened. I don't know, but if we're here and this place makes people turn on each other, I'd like to know sooner rather than later.
All right.
Who would like to talk to them?
Shari automatically steps back very discreetly.
Who's got the best charisma?
Yeah, Gentle just starts like kicking dirt like, digging their toe into the dirt, because, -1 on charisma.
I will ask them to tell me their story.
All right.
That works.
I'll hang back.
No. We'll all go up together to show a force for them, and you'll bring your backup.
All right. But I'll stand a little further away,
Okay.
behind you.
Should at least one or two of us stay a bit hidden so we have the element of surprise if we need to?
Sure, could work.
It's fine.
Not so
Okay.
much fair, but it could work.
Well, if they attack first.
I'd rather stay alive than have a fair fight.
Fair fight is the best kind of fight, but okay, I can't make it.
So I will hang back in the shadows and try not to be seen.
Okay. Is anybody else hanging back, or is everybody else heading forward to negotiations?
Nah, he's gonna go up with a Abanadur.
I'll
Okay.
go. I'm gonna kind of hang in the back. I also want to cast mage armor on myself.
Okay.
I'm gonna go ahead and basically kind of split the difference between Abanadu and Quinn and Alithia. But I'm
Okay.
gonna have my shield out and my warhammer drawn.
Okay. So, as
Yeah, before we step out, I just want to check one thing.
Oh yeah, Quinn has no armor on at all, by the way.
The silent image spell. I can make it move. Okay, so Abanadu wants to cast silent image and create the image of a large bear,
okay.
a mountain bear, a trained mountain bear with armor on it, and he's going to have it walk out with he and Quinlan and whoever else is going to.
Okay. So your big illusionary bear following you.
I will send.
Very quietly.
I will send Winston and Jeffrey, which is what I'm calling them now, with them.
Okay. Winston and Jeffrey will oblige.
I was thinking him and Hall.
You begin to make your way into the square with Shiari remaining back, keeping an eye on what's going on from the shadows. As soon as you enter this square, it takes a few seconds for him to realize that you're there, but you see the dwarven man with this red bandana sort of tied around his head, looks over in your direction and calls out to the others and says, "We got company." And the others begin to scramble out of the building and stare over all of you, all of them with their weapons drawn at this point, looking very nervous and very agitated. One of the elven men with you notice his left ear is missing, kind of takes a few steps forward, also has his weapon drawn, says, "Who are you?"
Abanadu bangs his spear twice to the ground and says, "I am Abanadu of the mountains, the heart singer you may call me. My friends and I found ourselves here in this town and wanted to know your story, where you came from, what is happening here. And you with the ear, I can help you if you want. Tell us your story."
He looks back towards the others, and you see a couple in the back just have this horrified look, or this very confused look on their faces as the strange bear companioned man comes stepping out of the shadows, and he looks over towards you and to the bear and the zombies following you and says, "Are you with the hooded ones?"
"We have seen the hooded ones."
"Alright. This is our shop. Piss off down the street."
"Yes, that is fine. You may have this shop. I want to know where you are from, where we are, and where we are going. What is your story? Who is you? What is your name, and where did you come from?"
"I'm not in the mood for stories. We're just doing our work."
not in the mood for stories. If this were a different time and place, I would sit you down and tell you the best story you've ever heard. But this is not the time or place. If you cannot tell us who you are of no good to me. You have seen the big black fire from far away. What is that?
Oh no, avoiding it.
Are you from this town?
Sorta.
Sort of. What is sort of? You sometimes are from the town and sometimes are not.
Listen, I'm not in the mood to talk to you. You and you weirdos just need to keep on going.
Okay, so this is your shop. You can have it. We'll go find another shop. But one last thing. What is the name of this place, please?
Shop?
No, the place. Where we are, the town. What is this place?
He looks at you very closely, says, "Did that thing get to you too?"
I don't know. I hit my head or something. Woke up on the floor.
Svenmalsphere.
Svenmalsphere. Okay. Tell you what. You stay in your shop and stay away from us. Don't follow us, or I have my bear eat you, okay? Otherwise, we can be friends.
I got enough friends.
This one here, he's got not much of an ear left. You want me to help him?
He's actually the earless one is the one that's talking to you. He says, "I'm fine."
Okay. Well then, we shall go and find a shop of our own.
All right. He slowly kind of backs up back towards the building, keeping an eye over all of you.
We also back up, and I make the bear back up too,
Okay.
around the corner.
Yeah, the bear falls. You all kind of retreat back around. The zombies too, kind of.
That'd be so great if it's like the zombies get there as soon as we're leaving, so they just, all right, come back.
Well done.
Oh, I'm afraid I did not learn very much. I think you are right. We should forget them and keep going towards what we saw earlier.
Well, we did learn a lot. We learned that we're actually in the place we thought we were at, which is good. And they're not crazy. Ish.
Depends upon your definition of crazy.
Well, they didn't attack us on sight and try to kill us, so...
No, but I really like that shop.
Well...
Well, they did mention the hooded ones, didn't they?
Mm-hmm.
They seem to know a bit more what's going on.
Wonder what that's about.
Well... Only one way to find out.
Yes. Let's keep on. Good work, everyone.
We didn't get into a giant fight, which is a plus.
I am disappointed.
I know. I did actually...
You'll get your chance.
I did kind of want to punch someone in the face. But soon, it'll happen.
All right. Keep on.
Okay. So, as you... I guess, are you guys just continuing to make your way, like, towards where you saw that explosion earlier? Okay. So you kind of wind your way around, avoiding this shop with the marauders in there, and continue to make your way down the city streets towards the square where you saw that explosion before. As you continue moving in that direction, the silence sort of persists for quite a long time. You see more bodies on near street corners. You see more doors broken down. You actually at one point come across as you round a corner, you see a bit of smoke coming up, and as you look down the street, you see a large fire that is currently kind of moving from building to building down there, as a section of the street, or a section of the houses there, are slowly sort of like burning away. As you pass by this flames, you can feel the heat, and you can see the just distantly through the smoke, you can see the burning furniture within. You don't see any bodies or any people in there, but it does look as though this fire is making its way through the city, licking from building to building.
Shiari is going to walk as far away from that fire as she possibly can, looking very, very uncomfortable.
Yeah.
This is a dumb question, but is like the fire actually like normal fire or is it black fire?
No, it's normal fire. It looks as though the buildings, and it's spreading too, and you're sort of avoiding it the best you can as you make your way that direction. But it looks like a natural fire. Shiari, as you try to stay as far away from the houses, the flames as you can, you begin to feel that sort of heat whelm through you, and you look down at yourself and you see your body on fire. The flames licking around your hands and shoulders, and you feel this excruciating heat. You're muted right now.
Sorry. Shiari will scream and try to muffle her own scream at the same time, like, "Oh!" And her eyes bulge, and she will. I'm trying to find how it's done. She has create water from her race.
Okay.
So instinctively, she will create water on herself, shaking as she's trying not to scream.
Okay. All of you hear this very short, muffled scream as you look over towards Shiari, and she looks perfectly fine to you. And you see her begin to scream and cover her mouth as she waves her hand through the air, and this torrent of rain begins to fall down on her, just soaking through her armor and her clothing as she just kind of huddles there. This terrified look on her face.
Shiari, what's wrong?
What's going on?
Abanadu looks to see if anything has attacked her anywhere. I'm looking elsewhere, not at her.
Okay, make a perception check.
Do I still see the flames?
As you sort of open your eyes and the water kind of washes over you, that comforting sensation, you look down and the flames are gone.
I'm okay. What happened?
Nothing.
And she's shaking.
Nothing. We heard you scream, turn around, and then you would dunk yourself in water. Did something attack you?
There was fire. I was on fire.
He kind of walks over to her and kind of looks around, making sure like none of her armor is singed or anything. Like there's no like anything to say that she was on fire.
Nope.
Yeah, you seem fine to me. Like what?
She starts like checking herself, her hands, her arms, and she just looks confused. I felt it.
I'm starting to wonder if this place isn't still messing with our minds. None of you saw like a small child standing in the road earlier, did you?
Abanadu looks around.
No? No one?
No.
I haven't seen anyone but you and the people back there.
Shiari,
Did you see me though, right?
I do see you.
Who said that?
I'm starting to think we might be hallucinating. Because I was seeing a small child that looked an awful lot like my sister did years and years ago. And Shiari, none of us saw fire on you but you.
Well, whatever's happening, it's not just us, it's probably the whole town. It's just something we need to keep an eye on. Make sure
Okay.
none of us, anything like that happens again. It's good that we're keeping together, though.
Yeah.
Abanadu, what did you roll for perception?
17.
17. Okay. As you guys are having this conversation, you've been keeping an eye out the entire time around you to see if you see anything. You don't notice anything in your immediate area. It's quiet on the street other than the flames on the buildings across the road. However, you do, as you look down the road, you see probably about half a dozen figures suddenly dart across you, running, sprinting down the road across the alleyways from one side of the road to the other.
Do they look like they're doing it to sort of follow behind to get closer to us, or is it just like a cross street and they're just running?
Yeah, like they're crossing like there's an intersection there and they are running parallel to it.
And did they look at all like the people we just met a moment ago?
No, they looked like it was as far as you could tell, they looked like, I mean, they weren't the same people. They looked like a couple of elves wearing commoners' clothing, just frantically running.
There are people, more people. They are running maybe from something that way. Do we go look or do we keep going?
Are they running away from where we're going?
They're sort of, the street that you're following right now is the direction you were heading, and they're in the direction you're going, not heading directly to it or away from it, sort of alongside of it.
So they're ahead of us, not behind us.
Yeah, ahead of you.
And going perpendicular to us.
Uh-huh.
Well, I'm like, we could always try, see what they're running from or running to. We already know there's looters in this town. Maybe they got in bad with someone and they're running from it.
Yeah, let's have a look
Let's at least move forward to where we can see them better.
and get away from the fire.
Yes, please.
Yeah, he kind of turns to Shari and is like, "Are you sure you're okay?"
Yeah, I'm okay. Let's just get away from here. Thank
Okay.
you.
All right, you can go first. I'll cover I'll cover everyone's backs.
Thank you. Shiari will go ahead again.
Okay, so you all go rushing down the street in the direction of these people, seeing what they might be running from or running towards. You go moving as quickly as you can, some of you ahead of the other Shari. You make it to that street corner first, and as you look down, you can see the people still running that direction, probably a few hundred feet away from you, running towards what looks to be another sort of, not the square you saw before, a communal area with a fountain towards the center, sprinting that direction, and some of them are stopping. You all continue rushing towards them, making your way that direction, and you all see as these people all begin to gather, kind of huddled together, look frightened, and you can hear kind of distant murmurings and yelling amongst themselves. One of them, who's towards the back, finally catches up with the group, looks back, looks like a teenage round elven boy, not quite an adult yet, but still pretty young, turns around and gives a shout as he sees you all rushing this direction. The rest of them begin to have a panicked look on their face, and some of them actually backs up into the fountain, kind of splashing into the water as they go to run away from you. As this happens, though, those of you that are watching suddenly see above the fountain this shimmer in the air, and a familiar black form emerges. And you watch as this darkness envelops there, and a set of wings out to either side as something appears there, obscured by darkness and movement. And in an instant, there is a flash, and you see the look of horror on this family's face as suddenly there is an explosion, a column of black flame that explodes out from the ground and up towards the sky within this square. You hear their screams of anguish as they are most certainly incinerated by this blast.
Banadu starts running towards.
Yep, he books it.
Okay.
Wait!
Where are you? What?
Okay, so as Leonor, as Shiari, Ilithia, Gentle, what are you doing? Are you staying back? Or are you?
I'm torn. I don't know what to do.
So Shiari, Ilithia, and Gentle sort of kind of hesitate for a moment. Abenadu and Quinlan, you begin to run straight towards this blast. As the fires begin to fade, you watch as this form through the smoke begins to emerge. What looks to be a man, humanoid looking, bald head, sort of a turquoise skin with just built of muscle, has scars running down his body almost entirely. He has two piercing golden eyes which stare out through the blackness in your direction, and two charcoal black wings that spread out to either side. He carries in his hand, in his two hands, holding it in front of him, a immense glaive with the shimmering blade at the end. He leers as he stares out in your direction, and in a moment, you watch as his form begins to vanish from sight.
I want to throw my spear at him.
Okay. You can make an attack roll with disadvantage.
Can I throw my dagger at him?
Yes, you both can.
Sweet.
15.
15?
Do I still have disadvantage?
Yes, you both do.
Okay. 25.
Okay. The spear, as you hurl it, Abenadu, it passes in the area where you saw this entity before, and then embeds itself in the stonework by the fountain, not seeming to have made any contact with anything. Quinlan, however, you hurl your dagger, and moving as it goes just slightly to the left of where Abenadu's spear passed, you see it stick into the air. After a few seconds, the dagger falls to the ground, clattering its stonework. You then feel a whoosh of air as suddenly there's this blast of air directly in front of you, and materializing out of the ether, this same large turquoise man staring directly down at you. Now that the creature has revealed itself, standing before Quinn is this massive winged man wielding this glaive, and he is full on going in for the attack at this point, seeming intent, his focus on Quinn. So, since we have our initiative orders here, Ilithia, how do you react?
How far ahead of us are they?
They are probably about between 60 and 80 feet ahead of you at this point.
Okay. Oh god. If I see this guy towering over him, I panic and probably yell very loudly. And then I just throw out my hand in my panic and I firebolt him.
Okay. So
that's my new friend.
So you begin to conjure up the firebolt in your hand and fire it in the direction of this creature. Go ahead and make your attack roll.
21?
21 will hit.
I only get one of these, right?
Yeah, it's only one.
I've never played a wizard before in my life.
It's okay.
Wow, 15 fire damage.
Nice. 15 points of fire damage as the bolt of flame slams into this creature. You hit it kind of square in the shoulder. However, the reaction is a little bit less than you were expecting. Kind of knocks him back, but he keeps his eye locked on Quinn in front of him.
Okay, that's an action. I guess I will command Winston. Winston, Jeffrey, protect Quinlan, please.
Okay.
Sort of send them that way.
Winston and Jeffrey are going to begin to move forward as fast as their zombie legs can carry them, which isn't super fast, but they begin heading that direction.
What is their speed? Oh, I have a sheet. Oh, it's 20 feet.
Yeah, so 20 feet.
Oh,
So
they slow.
they're kind of halfway close the gap there.
A wild barb appears for some
Yeah.
reason.
That will end your turn. Are you move any closer? Or are you going to stay there?
I actually back up a little bit.
Okay.
I'm a spell sniper. So
Yes.
my
you've
range is
got
very far. So I just
spells for days.
if I can, I'm trying to get maybe like to the edge of my range, like about 100 feet away or so.
Okay. So that'll put it to Abanadu's turn. Abanadu, as you wheel around and you see the entity standing next to you, you feel this pressure emanating from it against you. Because you are in such close proximity to the creature, I need you to make an intelligence saving throw.
Is this by any chance a charm effect that would charm me or frighten me?
No.
Okay. Seven.
Okay. You take 11 points of psychic damage as the pressure given off from this creature invades your mind, and because you rolled so low, I also want you to roll a D100 for me.
41.
41. Oh, I 41. You find language begin to escape you, and you find yourself unable to speak. You begin to babble as you try to talk, and this frustration and dread begins to whelm through you.
Abanadu drops to his knees and puts his hands to his throat, and his eyes go wide as he looks around terrified, and also silently curses the DM because it totally changes what I was going to do. But then he gets so angry, his terror makes him so angry, he locks his eyes on this creature and then pushes himself up the ground. And I want to run around the creature to where my spear is, retrieve my spear, and attack him from behind.
Okay, so you kind of rush over to the fountain where your spear is near. You grab your spear off the ground, and in this frightful anger, you lunge over to attack it. Go ahead and make an attack roll against it.
So it's a natural 20, 28 total with my bonus.
Nice.
Now, at this time, I had my shield out from earlier, so I'm only using it one hand at the moment. So I want to plant my foot on the base of the fountain and jump up in the air and come down at him between his shoulder blades, right between his wings, with one arm smashing it into him.
Okay, what's the total damage on the strike?
It is 18.
18. Okay. As you propel yourself off the fountain, leaping in the air, two-handed with your spear, you drive it, or one-handed with your spear, and try to drive it into the shoulder blades. It sinks in. It feels like you're stabbing a statue almost, but you drive it in as hard as you can, probably a few inches into the creature's kind of muscled back. You rip the spear back out, and no blood protrudes from it, but you do see the wound that you've caused. you see the creature's head kind of turn slightly over. It looks at you out of the corner of its eye as it remains intent on Quinn, but pretty heavy blow against it.
Now, I have the extra attack ability. Do I get an extra attack this turn?
Yeah.
Okay. So I will smile at him and then try to gut him with my spear.
Okay, you're going for the second attack to strike again.
23.
23. That also hits. How much damage?
10.
10 points of damage. Okay. Again, stabbing up the creature this time. You don't have as much force behind it, but you make a solid impact, kind of scratching the back of it, leaving another shallow wound on this large creature's form. All right. So staying there, squared off with it.
Yeah, I don't think I can... If I had any movement left, I wouldn't be able to move away without taking an attack of opportunity, so I'll stay where I am.
Okay. That will put it to Quinlan's turn, and same as with Abenado, you feel that pressure and you should make an intelligence saving throw.
Oh, jeez. If my mouse works. Just a straight intelligence?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Intelligence saving throw, yeah.
Yeah. 2.
Okay. I also need you to make roll D100 for me.
Well, this is going to be fun.
We just met. I don't have a story to tell about you yet.
Right? 8.
8.
I'm so going to die.
You take 10 points of psychic damage. And suddenly you find yourself in a darkened cave. You look around and you see in front of you a circular creature, one large black eye in the center, a gleaming mouth full of teeth, and a number of tentacles, each one with an eye at the end of it, all staring down at you as the vision of your nightmares, Dark Eye Yentrex, looks down upon you. You all watch as Quinlan just freezes in place, unmoving. You are paralyzed. And that ends your turn.
Freaking Yentrex.
Yeah. Unless you have anything that can get rid of the paralysis.
Oh, paralysis? I don't think so at this level. I'm checking. Yeah, it's only charmed and frightened.
Okay.
Cool.
That'll put it to Shiari's turn. As you watch Quinn just freeze in place as Abenadu stabs up at the creature to seemingly no effect from your angle.
Okay. First of all, I'm far away from the creature, right?
You're pretty far, yeah. You're
Okay.
over where Ilithia is right now.
With Ilithia, yeah, perfect. So, first of all, I'm going to say, everybody get out of here! And she has a pretty good set of lungs on her. She was a sailor, so everybody does hear her.
Okay.
And she will draw one arrow. And for my bonus action, I want to use my Conclave ability, my Planar Warrior, which basically I will copy paste what it says so you can see it, but it reads, as a bonus action, choose one creature you can see. Oh, it's within 30 feet of me. Am I within 30 feet?
No, you're not.
Okay. So I will not do this.
Okay.
I will just release an arrow to see if it actually hurts him or not.
Okay, so go ahead and make your attack as you draw your bow and fire in the direction of this winged man.
27.
That'll hit.
5 piercing damage.
Okay. You draw and fire the arrow. It sails through the air. It hits the left shoulder of this man. It doesn't pierce through, though. It kind of deflects off to the side, not seeming to have a lot of impact, but you do see a slight scratch there along his kind of melding in with scars along his body.
Just one thing. He hasn't acted yet, has he?
No.
Okay, so just to let you know that was with advantage.
Okay.
So, okay. And then I will keep close to Alithia, and I'm going to see is either Abanadu or Quinlan very hurt. Can I sense that?
From where you are looking over at them, neither one has been struck yet. So neither one seems to be hurt, as far as you can visually tell.
Okay.
Though Quinn is definitely just kind of like frozen there.
So I'm just going to say, Quinlan, what's happening? I'm not going to do any more as actions go. Trying to find out what's going on. I don't know if I can roll something to see what's wrong with him.
It's not really something you could tell visually from where you are. But you keep an eye on it. I'll let you know if you see any discrepancies.
Okay.
So that'll put it to the creature's turn, actually.
Bye, guys. Nice knowing you.
As he raises the glaive above his head and sweeps down with his first attack against you, Quinn, he is going to have advantage on the attack because you are paralyzed, and I believe it's an auto crit if he hits. So this is going to be fun.
So this homebrew race that you have created, it did very, very well RP-wise, but in battle...
Okay, so that's going to be double damage there. That's going to hit with a 30. And that is going to be 32 points of slashing damage and 46 points of psychic damage.
So
You know how many hit points he has left, right?
So Quinn, I don't know if paralyzed, whatever, but Quinn's dead.
Okay.
Like you're full dead?
Well, not full dead. I mean, that
No.
brought me,
Okay.
the first thing brought me down to 0, and then the next one brought me down to like -40 something.
Okay. The glaive sweeps down, hits Quinlan's form, cuts through him. Abanadu, you have a good angle on this. It slashes across his body, leaving a large trail of blood across the front. Not as deep as you were expecting, though. And suddenly you see Quinlan reach up, the paralysis ending as you take damage, and grasp onto his head, shrieking in pain as he doubles over on the ground, motionless. You're at 0. You're stable, though.
Until he decides to, be an asshole and be like, yeah, well, he's dead.
Yeah. The second attack, he sweeps around towards Abanadu. That one's not an advantage, but that's going to be a 23. So I think that hits you. And that's still pretty bad. 25 slashing damage.
Okay.
And 27 psychic damage.
Okay. So I fall backwards into the fountain, my spear flying away.
Yeah, and you have the same thing. As the blade cuts through you, you all see the spray of blood across the ground. As with 2 swipes, he takes out 2 of your party members, both of them trailing back, toppling backwards into the fountain, just motionless. You are also at 0, but you are stable.
But we're unconscious, I assume.
You're unconscious, yes. You're unconscious, but you do not need to make death saving throws. At that point, the creature flaps its wings with one gust and shoots straight up in the air about 120 feet with just one pulse of his wings. And you can see him just kind of a dot glimmering and hovering in the air. That will end his turn. As Gentle, it is your turn now.
Okay. Yeah, okay. I'm going to cast Mass Healing Word again. That's what I'm going to do. And get my friends up. Well, wait, hold on. I say that, but let me double check the range. 60 feet. So I move up and basically split the difference between everybody so that I can cast Mass Healing Word. For 6 points of healing.
Okay. You both receive, everybody receives 6 points of healing. Abinodi and Quinlan, you're still unconscious. We'll get to that in a little bit. But you still have 6 points. You regain 6 hit points, but you're still unconscious.
And then I think... Yeah, no, that's what I can do.
Okay. Gentle, you let out this cry as there's this reverberation of holy energy, like thunder through the street here. All of you feel bolstered by that. You see it reverberate over Quinlan, Abinodi. Some of their wounds seem to close a bit. You can tell they're alive, but they're still not moving. Alethea, it is your turn.
Oh dear. So you said he goes like 120 feet up?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm kind of back.
Yeah.
Okay. The range of my firebolt is 240 feet.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna...
You can certainly do so.
Throw out my my arm and spell snipe him.
Okay.
As
Go
it
ahead and
were.
make your attack.
Alright, here you go, guys. 23?
23 hits.
12 fire damage.
All right. 12 fire damage. All right. Anyway. So you, again, point in that direction to the ball of flame careening through the air, and then it slams into the center chest of this creature again. The sparks fly off of it, and you can see the kind of blackened burn mark in the center of his chest, still hovering there in the air, looking down at you.
I say, "Come down, you big bird!" And then immediately regret it.
Okay. Abinodi, it is your turn. You find yourself, as you lose consciousness, swimming in that same black void that you found yourself in before you woke up in the monastery. You see in front of you a vision appear. You see goats running across a mountainous landscape. You see yourself, younger, a tall, regal-looking woman standing above you. She hands you a spear.
Mother!
As this happens, the memory begins to fade, dissipate, distort, and vanish. You forget what just happened. You lose that memory.
Son of a...
You come back to consciousness, regaining half your hit points, your total hit points. Plus the 6 that you received before. So you're prone on the ground, but you're...
So I flop out of the fountain onto the ground, spurting water onto the paving stones, and I look around to see where everybody else is.
Okay. You see Quinn lying on the ground just feet away from you. Yeah, much like that. You see the rest of your party, Gentle, Alethea, and Shiari, all far off, staring up into the sky. and as you follow their vision up, you see the winged creature, its wings spread out, hovering above you.
Okay, I'm going to grab my spear. I'm going to put my arm around Quinlan and, as best I can, hoist him up over up against me, and then I'm going to cast Dimension Door and teleport us both over to where everybody else is, sort of like, I guess, into the rubble or behind a wall close to them, so that we're also maybe a little bit hidden from the winged creature.
Okay. You go to cast Dimension Door, you realize you still can't speak.
I curse the gods. And instead, I hoist him over my shoulder and start running towards the rest of the group.
Okay. You hoist an already large, muscle-bound Dalrith Quinn onto his shoulder. Abenadu kind of points in one direction. You see him throw his arm down and begin to just run towards you as fast as he can. All right. So you're able to pretty well close the gap if you're just kind of sprinting that way, this direction. You guys are pretty well clumped together at this point.
Sorry, before I ran, could I also grab up his dagger if it was there on the ground?
Yeah, you can grab both and start running that way. As it goes to Quinlan's turn now, you have sort of the same experience, that floating, that sea of nothing around you, and you see instead a green light appear in front of you. You see trees stretching up from the ground, strange plants you've never seen before. You hear this droning sound of small winged creatures buzzing around, these insects, you're told. You see the sun for the first time, and you see a village spread at the bottom of the valley, and the people that saved you gathered together, beckoning you to join them. It too fades to gray, distorts, and vanishes, and you lose that memory. You also regain half your hit points, plus the 6.
You wake up on the back of a Goliath.
And
Right.
you wake up on the back of a Goliath.
Do I have that, gladiator moment where you're just seeing the ground?
The ground
Yeah.
going underneath him, just kind of,
Your head is bouncing against my backside.
yeah.
Ow, 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 ow. Did you get the chariot that just ran me over? 'Cause ow.
You are good. You'll be fine. I can't talk.
Yeah. He kind of tries to talk. He's and can't. You have no idea what he just said.
Well, I'll learn that later. Just go.
All right. So you're just riding on. You just stay where you're
Pretty
at.
much right now, yeah.
All right. Shiari.
Sorry. Everybody's close together, right?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm just going to say again, run! And I'm grabbing whoever's next to me, who I think is Alithia.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm gonna just grab her and just start running, pulling
Sure.
her along.
Dragging her along the best you can,
Yeah.
trying to get away from this creature.
And say, get gentle, run!
Okay. So you all are beginning to rush away, escaping this creature, which still hovers in the sky, towering above you with its black wings outstretched. As this happens, or as you continue to run, it is now the creature's turn. It points out in your direction, holding a hand towards all of you.
Fireball.
Let's see. All right. You see, as you all look over your shoulder, in the air, and on the ground around you, these black flames begin to creep up at your feet, and suddenly explodes from the ground as this black divine energy sears your form. I need everyone. No, temporary. So it's just going to be the people in the front. So it's going to be Shiari Gentle and Alithia, as the three of you are kind of moving further ahead, I need the three of you to make dexterity saving throws.
I had a 20.
I got a 16.
Shiari, what'd you get?
Sorry, 11.
Okay. Okay. Ilithia just barely makes the saving throw. The rest of you fail. You take a combined 30 points of radiant and fire damage. So 30 points total. Ilithia, you take half that. As you begin to run and the flames sear around you, you see the winged creature in the sky flap its wings once more and soar over the cityscape in the other direction.
Yeah, Shiari just screams.
As you all go rushing down the city, not looking behind you to see if the creature is following. You go rushing as far as you can, running. You feel your legs straining underneath you to propel you forward, finally rounding a corner and finding yourselves breathing heavily and panting at the escape that you just had.
I look back to make sure Winston and Jeffrey are following me.
Oh, I forgot about them. They were behind. They were moving towards, so
The other two.
they weren't in the flame strike. So yeah, they'd still be following you, just kind of really slowly making their way, shambling their way down the street in your direction.
Come on,
So,
boys.
anyone else agree that was probably a really bad idea?
What were you thinking?
He just took out an entire family. I couldn't let him do it.
Well, obviously it's horrible, but I don't think I need to make the argument that he's probably going to kill us as well.
Oh yeah, we're all dead.
Can I, do I have any idea what that thing was at all?
Make an Arcana check.
Am I proficient in Arcana?
If anybody else wants to, you can make a history check or
Can I make a religion check?
religion check. Works too.
23.
23.
I just do a history just cause.
Banadu has a history check of 25.
25. Okay.
Religion check of 18.
18. All right. Gentle, you recognize this creature from iconography that you've seen. It is definitely a celestial creature, a creature that should be divine justice and lawfulness. You definitely recognize it as some form of like Deva type entity. Abanadu and Alithia, the two of you, notice, or kind of as you're breathing heavily and trying to think back on this, the color of its skin, the presence that it had, though you aren't entirely sure what might have caused it to behave in this way. It reminded you or resembled a specific type of Deva called a planetar. Put it back.
Do you guys share this information?
Banadu just
I do.
Oh,
I'll,
dear.
I look at everybody. Well, the gods have sent something down upon us. And whatever it sent is not happy.
I do believe that was a planetar. Yes, you look like you know what
Okay.
I'm talking about. It's a very big, very scary celestial being of some kind. It makes me very sad I could have spoken with it.
So it comes from another plane, right? Okay. I would like to, if I can, use an ability of my conclave, which is called Portal Lore. It says you gain the ability to detect the presence of planar portals. As an action, you detect the distance and direction to any planar portals within 1,000 feet of you. You also sense which plane of existence each portal leads to. However, if magic obscures any detail of a portal, this feature doesn't reveal them.
Okay. So you begin to concentrate and focus around you to see if you sense any presence of a portal that might have brought such a being forward. As you do so and you think out, you don't sense an active portal nearby. However, you do sense a very strong disruption coming from back up towards the center of the city, where you all awoke near the monastery.
Okay. So you see Shiari, she stops for a moment, she concentrates, and it's like some sort of shimmering light around her, and when she opens her eyes, she blinks and she tells you this. There was clearly some planar travel happening here, something that's still lingering, and she explains where it's coming from.
Around this time, Amanadu, as a few minutes have passed, as you're sitting there trying to recall words, suddenly your mind clarifies, and you feel that.
Oh, that was horrible! I could not speak. It is the worst thing I have ever seen or felt in my life since I was little. I looked to Quinlan. Are you all right? You are like frozen solid.
Yeah, I'm fine now. As soon as he hit me, I don't know what happened, but yeah, that sucked.
I should stop and have some tea.
You know, I agree. Yes, we should.
Perhaps maybe we should get out of the open? First?
Maybe
Yes,
we go back
definitely.
to the temple where we woke up.
It would take us closer to where I feel this disturbance.
Right.
Question, Sean.
Mhm.
When you say you lose those memories, like he doesn't remember it at all? He does not remember coming from Shane Latal to...
You still have the other memories, your memories of being there, but yet you don't know how you got here.
Okay.
So you are all trying to make your way back towards the monastery.
As we get ready to leave, Abanadu passes the dagger back to Quinlan and then looks at his own spear for a moment, kind of confused, but then shrugs and heads off with everyone.
He takes it with a thanks. Puts it back.
Just one thing before we go. We can either go back and try to find out what's going on here. We could also go to the docks and try to find a ship and leave. We're already close to there.
I wish to see the end of this story so I may tell it to others.
Well, after what just happened, and if it happens again, you're probably not going to survive to tell it to others.
But it will be glorious in the meantime.
Alithia, at that moment, you feel a tugging at your coat.
Look around.
You look down and you see that same vision of Juno standing behind you. Her face looks hallowed. She looks a little gaunt. but she has a smile on her face, and she kind of tugs and motions down the alleyway and says, "This way, sister, this way."
I have a thought. Follow me, and I follow her.
I follow after her.
Might as well.
Wait, where are we going? I say as I follow.
Just, I have a feeling.
Like a feeling. He does like his all four hands do this at once.
Do you not see her?
Do we not see her?
Wait, you
Are
see
you
something?
seeing?
I see nothing.
Are you seeing your sister again?
Yeah.
Maybe we should not follow an imaginary person.
My sister was very real.
But she's not here.
Not here now.
Maybe not to you, and I take off following her.
As your zombies go.
Come on, boys!
Quinlan does like the forehand.
Yeah.
So, Alithia, you go sprinting off down the alleyway with your zombies following you. The rest of you struggle to keep up with her.
I'm gonna do a follow.
Okay. The rest of you go rushing behind her. Alithia, you follow your sister across the alleyway, across another street. You see her duck around the corner. She's laughing almost as she's kind of egging you to come along. Says, "Come on, this way." Finally, you round a corner and you find yourself at an intersection where probably 4 or 5 streets come together. There are a couple of shops around, and you see your sister go rushing towards the center. And as you do, you see this sort of explosion of color around, like that erases the dreary landscape of the city. And you see streamers hanging from the lampposts, and you see people laughing and dancing in the street, and you have another vision to that festival. And you find yourself comforted in that moment. As your sister laughs and sort of skips away, she vanishes, and all of it vanishes away. You all look around, and you all recognize this place. And you look at the corner, and you see a shop that's mostly untouched, but the door is closed, the curtains are drawn, and you see a signpost above it that's kind of halfway hanging off. Looks like it's mostly broken. It says Dalnathar's Emporium. You all recognize this shop.
Have any of you been to this place before?
I know I
Is
have.
it
Yeah, I have.
is it the one that we saw wrecked before, or is this another memory?
It feels like a memory. It doesn't feel like this isn't the shop here before. That was a different part of the city.
I've been here before.
Me
I don't
too.
know. I don't know how, but I've been here before.
Gentle walks up to the window and like, tries to peer through the curtain, or
Is it like intact where all the rest of the buildings are like destroyed, or is it just like a superimposition?
It's still. I mean, this one hasn't been nearly as broken as the others. Like the signs hanging loose. You can still see some scorch marks across the ground. There's some bodies around. It doesn't look like perfectly intact, but the door is still closed. The windows are unbroken, whereas a lot of shops on the street do not look that way.
He goes up to the door and just knocks.
Okay. You wait for a moment. Make a perception check.
Oh, nat 1.
because I'm looking through the window. Do I see or movement behind any?
You can make one too.
Cool.
It sucks because I have a really good passive perception.
10?
Okay, you don't see much. You just very faintly hear like a shuffling inside.
something's in there.
Can I go up and look when Gentle says that?
Okay. Yeah, you can make a perception check too.
Can I like try the door handle? See if it's locked?
You can. You try the door handle and it pushes open. You actually notice that the lock looks like it's been broken, like somebody tried to open it before, but after opening about an inch, it hits something really hard, like there's something barricading the door from inside.
I let them know.
I got a 21 perception.
Okay, you go up to the window and you peer in, and you very faintly from the darkness, you see somebody sort of huddled behind a counter. And as the door kind of doosh, doosh, tries to open, you hear kind of this startled sound from within, from whoever is hiding behind there. And you hear a voice ring out that says, "Go away!
We're not here to hurt you."
Blow your head off if you open that door."
Well, after what I just went through, that's not really frightening to me at the moment.
There's sort of a silence from inside, and then a voice says, "Who are you?"
My name's Quinn. I've got a last name, but it just doesn't matter at this point.
Wait, Quinlan?
Yes?
You hear some more shuffling, and suddenly the curtains open in front, over to the side, and you see kind of an older elven man standing at the door. At the window. He's got white hair, it's combed back. He's wearing a big set of spectacles, and he looks around all of you, says, "I didn't think you were all still alive." And he closes it, and you hear some shuffling inside as the sound of furniture being dragged against the ground, just as he pushes some of the tables and furniture he had stacked against the door. Finally, it swings open, and you see him standing there. He's looking around. And all of you says, "Quick, get in, get in."
Go in.
I run
Yeah,
in.
we go inside. You know us.
Not terribly well. We were just here yesterday.
I was here yesterday.
We were all here yesterday.
No, just the three of you. And he points to Shiari, Gentle, and Quinlan.
What were we doing here?
You had some questions for me.
About what?
Angels, I think.
Oh no.
Planetars, by any chance? Did that come up?
Yeah, there was some questions about. Those were part of the books I showed you.
This may sound weird, but did we all know each other? Like, did we seem friendly? Sorry, we are way out of time and place. Our memories are gone.
Memories?
I don't remember talking to you at all.
I don't even remember coming up to the surface.
Oh. Is that what's happening?
Are you a storyteller?
Sort of. I'm an expert on arcane lore and mythology.
So then tell us the story of what has happened so far.
Okay. I'm in. He closes the door and starts strains to begin to push things against it once again.
I help him.
Okay, and you come in within 2 seconds, just kind of there. He looks up.
But
Thank you.
before you start your story, which we don't really love to hear, do you know all of us? Have we met?
He looks around to each of you, and he looks at Amanadu. He says, "I'd remember if I'd seen you before. I don't remember you." He looks very closely at you, Alithia, and he says, "My, I do recognize you.
haven't seen you though since you, little girl. You lived around here, didn't you, with your mother and father? I remember you and your the younger one. Was it your sister? Used to
Juno,
come through
yeah.
a long time ago.
Yeah, hundreds of years ago.
I've been here for a while. Used to come read here almost daily.
I'm sorry I don't remember.
It's all right. I don't think that's any of your fault. But I haven't seen you since. Oh, well, maybe you didn't come into my shop then. Maybe it was you just sent your friends here. I don't know.
Can you tell us what you do know about what's happening?
Well, the three of you came here. Said you had found a bit of trouble, something about a friend of yours you needed help. Well, maybe that was you. They were talking about. He points to you, Alithia. He says, you said you needed help a friend that you were told to come here. You asked me about a summoning ritual for an angel, a deva. Asked me a lot of strange questions. Why to summon all these creatures, how it would be done, and you seemed really concerned on how to undo it. I did a lot of research for you, and I told you that the only way after with the ritual you talked to me about, you told me of, the only way to stop it was to kill the person who summoned it. You didn't seem too happy about the prospect of killing people, but...
Who did the summoning ritual, do you know?
You talked about a cult, a doom speaker cult that you had heard of. It's one of the reasons you came here, apparently. You didn't say much.
And when we came here, was the place all destroyed like it is now?
No. That's just started earlier today. It's been chaos. I don't know. I boarded up the windows, the doors, and I've been hiding in here. I heard screaming and explosions, and I thought there was another rebellion on our hands.
Did we say why this person wanted to bring in a deva?
You wouldn't say. Or you didn't know.
Forgive me. He kind of turns to the rest of the group and he's like, forgive me, because, again, not from here. But aren't devas supposed to be good? But we just saw. I was far from good.
Well, not all of them, just like not all the gods are good.
True, I guess.
And if it was a cult that summoned him, could they have done something?
Like corrupted it somehow?
I don't know.
That's way above my pay grade. Streamcat.
Well, do you think the hooded ones could be this cult?
Makes the most sense.
I mean, yeah, but we haven't seen any of them, at least not that we know of.
Maybe they all died. There was a
Well-
cataclysm this morning.
But do rituals like that mean, like, do they need a sacrifice of some kind? Maybe that's why we haven't seen them.
Can I try to think back to like anything that I know about summoning things? Or like that kind of magic?
Yeah, you can make an Arcana check.
19.
I mean, you're familiar with summoning magics because you do it all the time with your undead creations and of summoning their spirits back to their bodies. You know that it typically requires powerful magic. Depending on the more powerful the creature you bring forth, the more powerful magic it calls for. That only very experienced arcane practitioners are capable of bringing forth entities as powerful as the one that you just saw. Other than that, as far as what it would take to summon this specifically, you aren't sure.
Well, I'm not entirely sure what it would take to summon a planetar, but something very, very powerful. Someone very, very powerful. Better than me. This is an extremely powerful mage of some sort.
When we came and talked to you, did we say what we thought their reasonings for summoning this would be?
I didn't hear much about that, and you didn't say much about it. You said that somebody was doing something bad, I guess, or that was the conclusion you came to. It seemed like it was pretty important.
Did we say anything about where these things were happening?
No.
Did they tell you where they were going to go after they left here?
Last I saw you, I think you were heading up to the monastery.
Has there been any word from the keep since this happened?
There was an evacuation when it first began. Most of the most powerful arcanists within the city, well, they're tasked with getting the monarchy and the rest of them out of here. As far as I can tell, I haven't been over to the castle, but it seems like they have things pretty well boarded up there, or they're all dead. I don't know.
It was either, my thought was that maybe the person that was doing it came from the keep, but if you said we were going to the monastery, then I don't know.
Seems like our instinct to go back was right.
Mm-hmm.
It's where I felt the disturbance in, not the portal exactly, but something wrong.
Well, that's where it all started, maybe. We should go back.
Did we do this?
I don't know.
From what I understand, a cult did this and we were trying to stop them, I hope.
Wait a minute. How do I know that you are not all the cult?
Well, we wouldn't know either, but we want to stop it now. That counts for something.
Unless you remember you are the cult, and then you won't want to stop it anymore.
Well, if you want to start us attacking each other, it's what the people have been doing here with very little effect for good. So I'm not sure you want to go down that road.
I think
We
for
need
now
Sherry looks to everybody else.
I think for now we should stick together. It's worked out for us so far.
Yeah.
I think we head back to the monastery. See if we can figure anything out.
Besides, we all woke up in the same room at the same time. That's gotta mean something.
Well, since you've all been here before, and the three of you were here before, and no one knows where I came from, maybe you were trying to sacrifice me.
I don't remember trying to sacrifice anyone.
I don't think I would do that, but
I mean, if we go back and then we realize that we were trying to sacrifice you, we'll burn that bridge when we come back.
Just thinking about it as a relatively powerful wizard who's sort of familiar with summoning, you don't look like the type of person I would try to sacrifice. You're much bigger than me and very strong.
Well, good. Let's hope that's the way it is.
Hope that makes you feel better.
To the monastery, then.
As he turns around, to the monastery, as he turns around, he just slowly leans into Athelia, right? I said that right, hopefully. Alithia, and says, like in a stage whisper, "That was a good cover. He'll never know."
I start giggling.
Before we go, Gentle, you look like you are still some little bit hurt. Do you need healing?
That fire really stunk. I could use some healing.
As
I agree.
As you guys are talking about, and Erwin kind of looks around. I don't think anybody asked his name yet, but his name's Erwin. He looks around and he says,
"You can stay here if you need to rest for a bit. No one's come in here yet, and I wouldn't mind having some strong people around for a little while in case they do."
Perhaps we should sit a while and rest?
Yeah, that'd probably be a good thing. We've got cover.
I agree.
We've got cover. We know it's protected at least somewhat, and with all of us in here.
We can save some of our energy.
Yeah. Heck, if we go to the thing and we need someplace to fall back to, maybe we can come back here if we help this man like he helped us.
And we should also go there feeling stronger. I mean, we're going to have to fight again.
That's very true.
Agreed.
Yep.
I asked the man if he has any tea.
Yeah, I have some in the back. Would you all like some?
Tea, please. Excellent. For all of us.
Be lovely.
Okay. I'll get some together.
he begins to kind of walk with a bit of a crouch back to the back room. So you all sit down and begin taking a short rest.
While we're resting, Abanadu's going to look through all the books in the bookstore with a big smile on his face. He's looking for interesting storybooks maybe to purchase.
Okay, yeah. So you guys can all roll some hit dice. Yeah.
I would like to use my arcane recovery.
Yeah.
Now, so I can get back a third level slot and a first level slot.
Yes.
Okay.
You can do that. Let's see. As you look through the bookshelves, Avanadu and eventually Erwin comes back out with some tea, which he gives to all of you, which is quite nice. It's mild, but he gives you each something to drink, and you get to sit down and rest for a bit. Avanadu, you find that there are a number of interesting tomes and books through here. There are mostly related to arcane practices, kind of like abjuration for dummies and things like that. He has some other books about planes of existence and a lot of books that would interest you. Stories about people who traveled to other planes and those that discovered historical texts about the discovery and progression of different styles of magic, as well as some just historical books about the area.
Okay. So Abanaду will pick one that intrigues him the most and ask the man quietly if he can purchase it.
He looks and says, sure, I wasn't expecting to do any business today, but of course, just for your trouble and what you all are doing, a couple gold pieces is enough to suffice.
So Abanadu digs through his pack, pulls out a couple of coins, mismatched coins from different places, and shines them off and hands them over.
Okay, he takes them and says, thank you, and tucks them away.
So you all take some time to patch up your wounds and rest and recuperate the best you can. Did everybody get their hit dice and hit points all calculated up?
As we're sitting there, he kind of turns to Alithia and goes, "You grew up here?"
How much do I remember about Atmosphere? Nothing but what I've remembered since I got
Nothing
here.
but what you've seen so far.
I don't remember. The only things I know are what I've learned in the past couple of hours, so I have memory of being here as a child with my sister, and the shop owner seems to remember me. I have memories of attending the festival. That's it.
Well, maybe that plays a part into it, you know? Someone's here, or has been here before, lived here. Maybe that's why they took our memories.
They don't want us to remember.
Yeah.
We have to find this Doom Speaker called.
Yeah. Figure out what's
Erwin.
going on.
Yeah. Erwin, can you tell us more about what you found about the planners? Like, are they weak to anything? Can you give us anything that may help us fight this thing? It's quite strong.
He thinks for a moment. I don't have much. I'm not really good with that kind of stuff. All right then.
He kind of goes back and rummages through and finds a bag and pulls out a couple of vials and hands them over to you. He says, "It's not much, but it's all I've got." He hands over two, two greater healing potions.
You don't need these for yourself, do you?
No, I'm not really. If you all can take care of whatever this is, then hopefully I won't need them.
We'll try.
Your hospitality has been most kind. Thank you.
All right. Best of luck, and when this is all over, come back here and tell me so I can open up my shop again.
Just as a thank you, just be aware, like you probably know, but we've come across some looters since we woke up, and they've been breaking through doors and stuff. So I see that you've already kind of set this place up, but just be careful when we leave.
He says, "Oh, I couldn't take care of them. Some came by earlier," but
He actually reaches over and he takes out an object from behind the counter, and it's a long sort of like blunderbuss. And he kind of holds it in his hand and says, "I can take care of him with this." And he tucks it back behind the counter.
Well, that works.
Well, shall we go and meet the day?
To the monastery
Let's go.
again.
Let's figure this out.
Okay. So you all pack up your things and begin to head out of the building. Back
Sorry,
up.
just quickly, I see, Alithia, that you're not healed up to full.
No, I'm only down 5.
Because I could, while we were resting, sing a song of rest that would give everybody an extra 1d6, and nobody else needs it, but it would help you.
Oh, sure.
I mean,
I would love to hear a song.
Your Song of Rest should be... Doesn't that go up, though, with your Bardic Inspiration die?
That one does... No, the Song of Rest does not go up again for me until 9th level.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, I forgot that was different. Okay.
So I sit down in front of her and pull out these bones, these long bones that are sort of tied together with cord with a piece of wood shoved in the middle, and I clack them on my knees like a pair of spoons and sing a little ditty for her. And you get... Just roll it here. 3 extra hit points.
Right. I'm super into it. I'm just fascinated.
Is it of the melody of Cotton Eye Joe?
It could be.
Now.
Oh, no, it's in my head.
You are welcome.
Yeah, there we go. So,
Thank you.
so with that little extra healing, you all help just kind of squeeze out the front door of the shop, and you hear Erwin pushing the barricade back up against it. You all make your way back onto the city streets and begin winding down the passageways back up towards the monastery. Every once in a while, you'll hear a shout or a cry in the distance, another kind of explosion or a screech off to the left and the right. You find yourselves ducking down and trying to stay low as you move forward. As you wind your way back up to the hillside that leads up to the monastery, you begin heading up the path, and from this angle, as you're entering it and with the memories in your head now, you do feel this sort of deja vu. And you feel, most of you, this impending sense of dread that begins to wash over you as you approach, like your body knows something that your mind doesn't. As you make your way to the broken entryway and peer inside, you see it's the same as when you left, except standing there, sort of fumbling through some things by the altar, you see one man in hooded red robes, to be leather, with a cinch around his waist, kind of fumbling through some things, and has like some parchment and paper sprawled out on the altar.
Shall we sneak up on him or just kill him now?
We should talk to him.
No, we gotta talk to him first.
Can we see his face at all? See what kind of being he is?
You can't see from the angle you're at. He's facing directly away from you.
Maybe we should check to make sure there are not other doors on the other side for him to get out.
I will say, based on his height, he's around human height. So.
We're all like frozen and scared. Okay.
Should we check for other doors to make sure he does not escape somewhere else?
Yeah, someone keep an eye on him. I'll see
That's
if...
what I was going to say.
Yeah. I go one way, you go another. See if we can find anything. If so, stay there. Someone goes to talk to him. If he runs, hopefully we can catch him.
I have an idea for if he runs, so I'll be ready.
All right.
Okay.
As she says that, he kind of looks at the door and looks at like the blown ceiling and goes, I'm really hoping that was you and not them.
Well, my idea wasn't an explosion, but I can do that too,
Well,
if you want.
it's good to know, because after all of that, we might need it. So, all right. He goes like one way.
So while they split, Gentle just goes to the door and in full chain loudness just kind of stomps into the room. Like, shield out, Warhammer at his side, and
Okay.
and just says, well met.
So those of you that are outside going around, are you stealthing? Or are you trying to like?
Yeah, I'll try to stealth.
Okay,
Yes.
so you guys go ahead and make stealth checks.
Please be good.
Oh,
It's not good.
no,
It's not good
no,
at all.
it's not.
It's really not good.
No doors out here, guys! Not on this side!
If he comes through the window, I got him.
So bad.
What'd you guys roll for the viewers?
An 11.
11.
I rolled a 5 with a natural 1.
Okay, so the two of you go sneaking off to the sides the best you can, as
Quinlan's shouting, do 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 do.
yeah.
It's like Crunk.
Like, yeah, exactly like Kronk with his own theme song.
As you make your way into the room, oh man, Gentle, you gain this man's attention. He turns around, and you see a human standing there. He has a thick sort of brown beard. He has a panicked look on his face as his hood's pulled up. He sees you and he backs up against the altar, looks around, immediately seeing everyone as you guys are trying to make your way to the sides through like the cracks in the wall and the broken windows and stuff. He says, "Oh, take what you want. I don't have anything of value."
Who are you and what are you doing here? Tell us now, your whole story. Don't look at them, look at me.
He looks straight at you, afraid to look away. He says, I'm Reshton. I'm a well, it's hard to explain why I'm here. I'm trying to fix all of this.
So are we.
Explain harder.
Wait a second. I know you.
Me?
No, you don't.
He looks over. He looks at you for a second. He says, I was so surprised that you're the half giant. And he looks over towards Alithia, and he says, You have to get her right now.
Why?
Why?
She's the one who caused all of this.
I turn around and look at her.
And him too. And he points to Abenadu.
Wait, me? Clearly you are mistaken.
Listen, you have to believe me. As he looks towards Shiari, Gentle, and Quinlan, he says, you have to believe me. It's them. They're the ones that did the ritual.
Can I
Yeah, can I like insight check it?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
$16?
22.
Shiari.
9.
Okay. Shiari, you aren't really sure. A lot of people are using each other right now. You, Gentle, and Quinn, he doesn't seem to be deceiving. He looks genuinely frightened, and as far as you can tell, he's telling the truth.
Why would they, and he points to them both, why would they be the one to do it?
That doesn't
I'm
sound
a traveling storyteller.
That doesn't
from
sound
the
like
mountains.
something we would do at all.
rituals. Well, maybe you like make dead things come up, but me, I hunt goats and I tell stories.
Now, hold on just a second. I don't like summon things from other planes. And not bad things that kill people.
He sort of relaxes his demeanor a bit. He says, You came here and offered to help us. Both of you.
Offer to help you do what?
Are you the Doom Speaker people?
Yes.
Oh god.
Oh, I'm probably the last one.
And what were you doing? What did we offer, apparently, to help you do?
To summon that cursed creature.
Why were you trying to summon this thing?
To save everyone.
Save them from what?
Themselves.
What do you mean by that?
Okay. It's hard to explain, but we needed the creature to lock away the secrets that
are too dangerous for our kind to have, for mortals to hold. You came here to invoke the deity of secrets, and pleaded to send a messenger to have it erase these arcane and horrific knowledge from everyone's mind, from all of this realm. We can't incur the wrath of another calamity, as we have been told would reemerge if we continue down the same path as the Awakened. The gods will arise from their slumber and smite us again if we do not stop this from happening.
Do I remember any of this that he's saying?
It vaguely speaks to you guys. I mean, you remember basically a legend and mythology of a war that occurred between gods and mortals eons and eons ago, with an original predecessor race called the Awakened. And it was through this war that the gods came down and sort of struck all of creation. And they too, the six of the Paramount Convergence, were locked away as part of that. Their followers, the lesser gods, rebuilt, created the mortal races as they are today. And this knowledge was sort of learned and came about a number of years ago.
But I don't have any nothing is making me remember that I had any part in this.
No. That's still it's sort of resonating with you a bit, but at this point it's hard to say.
I do not believe I would have done something like this. I am a storyteller. I collect stories. I have no desire to destroy knowledge and information and stories. That would be against everything that I hold dear and believe. This man is not telling the truth. There is something going on.
I feel the same way. I work for a university. I restore and preserve things.
Unless the knowledge that you knew only gained certain gods' power, and the only way to keep them hidden was to lock it away, destroy it for all time.
Do you think maybe we found something so bad?
And that if the more people that know about it, the more powerful these beings become. So the only way to stop these creatures, these beings, these gods, from ever coming back was to destroy all knowledge of them.
So are you saying that we were trying to do something good or bad? I don't know.
The man speaks up again. He says,
I don't know anything about that. All I remember is when, Ilithia, you came here and you asked us if bringing this creature, summoning this creature, if it could revive somebody close to you. And we told you that it could, but what the cost would be. You made some agreement with this one. He looks to you, Avenadu, and says, I know not what it was, but you said you needed somebody to help you.
What did you tell me the cost was?
What I just said. The arcane knowledge. Technological knowledge. All of it. You said that you were willing to pay the price.
Okay, if I get this straight, you, and I'm looking at the man who is addressing us, you helped bring that thing, that diva here. And it was with Ilithia and Avenadu's help. Am I understanding this correctly?
They performed the ritual. We did not have any members of our organization capable of doing so.
But
We
you
do-
wanted that to happen.
Not this. It wasn't supposed to be like this. It's taking everything. Not just the memory. You said you could control it. He looks to Ilithia. You said you'd have the power to restrain it.
Look, and Shiari turns to everybody, and she's a bit more forceful than she usually is, and she says, "Look, I don't know if it matters what we did or what we were before. I think we can all agree here that we want that thing to be stopped, right?"
Yes.
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 Agreed.
What do we need to do that?
He kind of winces for a moment. He says,
The ritual, it binds the creature to the summoner via soul link.
Is it bound to her then?
She was the one who performed the ritual.
You mean to tell me the only way to get this thing gone is to kill her?
Unless you find yourselves powerful enough to destroy it on your own.
Well, wait a minute. Hold on. We don't necessarily have to kill anybody here. If she summoned it, she must know somewhere in her memories how to break this connection.
Can I insight check the man again, see if killing her is truth or he's just making it up?
yeah.
16.
He seems to believe that is the only way. Whether or not it's true is he thinks it's true.
Okay.
You said there were like papers scattered around on the altar, right?
Mm-hmm.
Quinn goes up to them and starts just leafing through them, seeing if he can read them.
Yeah, he as you go through, he looks and says,
Read whatever you want. This is all the information we have on the ritual.
and you can read it. It's a mixture of, I mean, you can read parts of it. It's a mixture of common and elven and a couple of the language. I don't know if all of you speak celestial.
I do.
Celestial. Okay. Yeah, it's a combination of a few of those languages kind of throughout.
Oh, that makes sense now.
He kind of passes them over to her and be like, this is, again, it's not what I do. Like, can you make any sense of this?
I scan through for important information.
Okay.
Specifically anything like about the creature itself or the ritual.
Okay. You go ahead and make an Arcana check.
23.
23. Okay. You reading through it starts to make a lot of sense, and as you read over it, begin to have flashes of reading this before, and it's you definitely start remembering some of this ritual, and you find pieces of it that you see are in your own handwriting, bits that you've added to it. It's easily recognizable as your own handwriting. As you go through it, you get the basic sense of the glyphs and things that are needed to summon the creature, though you see that you've added a bit to it in the ledgers. Things, binding symbols or sigils, things that would essentially empower the creature and bind it to you. and you start to get a good sense of how the spell works. Because you rolled so well, based on what you're reading and what you see of it, you don't think you could reverse the ritual entirely. You think that you could, however, reverse the effects of it, such as the ones that took your memory, and perhaps be able to weaken the creature as part of it. However, you would no longer be able to, your death would no longer lead to the creature being banished.
Do I feel like... Do I feel like, based on like the binding runes and stuff, that I could leash it?
It's
Probably
pretty well leashed right now to you, the best that it can.
But I can't like
make
command it.
Mm-mm.
No.
You aren't sure what happened, but it was you were supposed to be able to control it.
Something went wrong. Well, I have an idea. If you're not all just gonna kill me.
Go ahead. What's the idea?
What's the plan?
Well, I definitely did this. And I think I know why. That's not important. Based on my notes and additions to the ritual, I think I can weaken it. And I can reverse at least some of the things it's done to us. I can get our memories back. And I might be able to weaken it to the point where we could destroy it. And then we wouldn't have to kill me. I would very much like to not be killed.
So what do we do?
How do we reverse it?
Well, let me figure that out.
Please do. I feel a lot better fighting that thing than just killing you.
That makes me feel really good. I guess I
Okay.
start trying to suss out what to do.
All right. So you begin to decipher the ritual and try to find some way to unbind it.
Can I, while I'm doing that, can I try to figure out, like, based on the ritual and like knowing how it works, what part a bard friend might have played?
Mm-hmm. You can try.
Okay.
Go ahead and just make me an investigation check for that.
14?
Before you tell us the outcome, could I, since apparently I had some part in this, can I sort of rack my brain, including stories that I've heard of something similar things, to aid her in this check?
Sure. So you're gonna sort of speak with her and tell her and kind of point out parts of it that might. Okay. Yeah, I'll say go ahead and roll another check to signify with advantage.
Oh wow, 27.
Okay. It helps because as Avenado, as you stand over her, you begin to point out areas of the spell where you see your own sort of scrawlings in there that you wouldn't have recognized before, Ilithia. As you look through it, the two of you begin to sort of understand a bit more of why you did this and what's going on. You begin to have flashes back of your memories briefly. You see yourselves having a conversation. Ilithia, you remember speaking with one of these red hooded people, having them sort of promise you your part in this. As you think back on it, you remember being alone and sort of struggling with that idea of losing everything about yourself to regain Juno. And you remember sort of steadying yourself to do this. Abenadu, you remember speaking with Ilithia and convincing her to change the ritual. That this knowledge didn't need to be lost, that the two of you could control it on your own, and get your purpose out of it without it needing to destroy everything. You remember a desire, knowing the knowledge that this creature held, what sort of information it could give you, the stories it could tell you, and the power that would come with those stories. That is a guardian of the secrets that this thing must know very much. And the both of you kind of look up at each other as you both have this realization at the same time.
Look, my heart was in the right place.
Right. What's done is done. And now we're gonna fix it.
I very much hope so.
We're gonna fix it together.
Okay. So you begin the ritual, begin setting up the scrawling on the ground, beginning to reconstruct this ritual that you remember. You place artifacts and pieces, incense, crystals at different focus points along this chalk scrawling that you put on the ground. You pick up the incantation and begin to, Abenadu and Ilithia, kind of pass the pieces amongst yourselves to find your own part in it. As you both kind of say to yourself, everybody looks around, and you know that when the connection is broken, that this creature will likely know where you are and will come to retaliate.
While they do that, sorry, can I cast Beacon of Hope? Or as it starts to get ready, I want to cast Beacon of Hope.
Okay.
So, you know.
Do we know, I ask Ilithia, if we know the weaknesses of this creature, anything that it's afraid of?
I'll tell you from what you would know, Ilithia, and what the two of you would be able to gather together from the information that you have. You know that very specifically, this is a being of divine retribution, and it does not feel fear, nor can it be swayed to the opinions of others, nor can it be tired in any way. It is relentless.
Is there anything above it in the pecking order that it might? What I try to get at is,
yeah.
If a creature like this, unless I know that the creature like this would be able to see through an illusion immediately,
Okay.
would I be able to use my major illusion spell to create something so that as soon as it appears, at the very least, we could distract it for a moment, like, there's a god standing there in front of it.
You know that there is only one type of entity that stands above the planetar in the divine hierarchy, and it is a name that I cannot remember off the top of my head.
Solar.
Thank you. That it is the Solar, the archangels, the most powerful of the divine Avengers, and that would be about the only thing that would stand out other than a god of some sort.
Do we know
And
what
would
they
either of
look
us
like?
would either of us know whether or not this creature has the ability to see through illusions?
I'd say that it does have a radius of true sight. It can see through illusions to a certain extent. Once it gets close enough, or if it was far enough away, it wouldn't be able to see through it. Once it got close enough, though, it would be able to tell.
So would I know what this range is so that I could cast this illusion at a distance to buy some time when it appears?
You have a general idea of how far you feel safe putting it away. As far as like the confines of this like chapel, you don't have a lot of space in here, but you have this open doorway and you have the open ceiling and stuff. And if you were to put it somewhere there, or something like that, or if the Planetar approached from far enough, it might not be able to tell up front what.
Could you put it above us? Like it's
in that
descending
nicely
from
made
heaven.
hole.
Yeah.
Yeah, what I would probably do is once we're ready to get everything going, I would ready an action so that as soon as the Planetar shows up, I would cast the spell to create the Solar at a distance away where it would see it from where it appears, and it would have it make a huge commanding booming noise to get its attention.
Okay. Yeah. I'd say you definitely do that. It's probably going to take like a intimidation check on your part to do that, but to see its effect. But it definitely could, or a deception check or something like that. But it definitely could work out.
Okay.
Mage armor.
So, anything else that we want to?
You still have it on. It lasts for 8 hours.
Oh, that's a long time. I didn't realize it lasted for so long. Okay.
Yeah.
Never mind.
Sorry, Michael. I didn't mean to interrupt you. What was the first thing?
No, I was just asking if there's anything else we need to do to prepare for this. Anything anybody else wanted to do to prepare?
As they're doing this ritual, because the shopkeeper, whose name I can't remember because I didn't write it down because I'm not taking my notes, he told you what? Erwin. Yeah. Erwin told us that we came to him for information. So while they are setting this up, can us three talk and see if we can figure out anything that we can remember about what we learned about this creature and how to destroy it, or kind of help in any way we can?
Yeah, I'd say you have a hard time kind of recalling those memories, but however, from what Alithia and Amnadu have, I guess you tell them a little bit about what's going to happen when this ritual occurs. Your memories should come back to you when the ritual has been completed. So
okay.
If you know anything,
it'll happen then. Mm-hmm. Cool.
So that's the moment when the rest of you will realize that we're evil, and you'll turn on us and attack us.
It's okay.
I have one spell that might help if it's weakened, and that's banishment. But it's gonna be a one shot to do it. I'm getting on my higher level more concentrated spells. I'm getting a little weak, but it's worth a shot, just so you know.
It's definitely worth a shot.
It's a shot I'm not going to throw away.
I can sing a song for us that will give one of you some inspiration. Who should I give it to before we start?
It's too gentle if he can try and do that.
Yeah, would that help?
Would that help him?
I don't think so. I think banishment does not. You don't have to make a roll for it. It's going to be a saving throw for the creature, right?
Charisma, yeah.
Yeah. So the inspiration wouldn't help. Inspiration will allow the person to give it to you to roll plus 1d8 to an ability check or damage or AC.
Okay.
So who wants it?
Just give it to whomever Abanadu would, I guess.
Well, I think when combat starts, Sherry, you're going to be... Are you using a bow?
I am.
And Quinlan's going to be probably getting into...
Up close personal.
So I can either give it to Quinlan, which he can then potentially use for his armor class to protect him, or I can give it to you to help you with potentially an important attack with your ranged weapon from range.
Give it to him. We don't want him falling again.
So I'm like, how much would it increase the AC?
You get an inspiration die of 1d8.
Okay.
Use it for any ability check, including an attack, or you can use it as a reaction. Once you can, before you know the result, you can use it as a reaction to add to your AC for one attack, or you can use it to add to the damage of one attack.
Cool. That works. All right.
All right. So
I'm sorry. I'm going to find a place. How big is this space we're in?
probably about like 50 feet by like 30 feet.
Okay.
And then there's a slightly raised altar that could provide a little bit of cover.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's the doorways out and the hole in the ceiling above.
Okay. There was the stairs that we went up before. Do I have visibility of the whole room from there?
You would have visibility. Yeah, you'd have visibility of like the center part of the room. You wouldn't have visibility of like the altar area.
Okay.
You'd be able to see a pretty good portion of it.
Okay, and is it more or less like 30 feet from the center of the room?
Yeah, about so.
Okay, so I say I'm going to position myself up there, and if I need to come down, I will. I say to everybody.
Yeah, with 30 feet, you're saying with your full movement, you could go down the steps and you would be essentially at the edge of the room, I guess, but you'd be able to see into it.
Okay. I'm going to take my position there.
Okay. All right. So Shiari goes and sets up in the bell tower. The rest of you, Ilithia and Aonadu, begin to proceed with the ritual. Quinn, you are staying near the middle of the room.
Yeah, it's like just keeping them safe, just in case anyone comes out of nowhere and tries to attack them, and he's just on guard. He's just basically holding an action just in case something appears and to attack.
Okay, and Gentle, you're doing the same.
Yep. When I just want to make sure that, because I haven't quite cast Beacon of Hope yet, because it's only a minute long, or like of concentration. So am I going to be able to get everybody in it right as we start?
You won't be able to get Shiari if she is in the bell tower.
If you tell us that, I'll wait.
Okay. So like pretty much I think when the ritual starts, and we all kind of like, and I basically kind of wait a 30 count, because I'm assuming the ritual will take a little bit, and then I'll cast it.
Okay.
And then while that happens, you can run up the bell tower.
Okay. So that'll give you enough time, Shiari, to get up into the bell tower. Yeah.
Just to check, can I attack into the room from the top of the stairs? Okay, cool.
Yeah, from the bell tower, you can attack up into the room.
Okay.
Okay. So that will put everybody in their position. So Ilithia and Aonadu, you begin to cast this ritual to unbind the creature. Gentle, you cast the Beacon of Hope, instilling everyone around you with this warm, radiant energy that bolsters you for combat. Shiari, you make your way quickly as soon as that happens up into the top of the bell tower. As the ritual completes, both of you, Aonadu's singing, kind of combining with the chanting that Ilithia is doing to complete this ritual. There's a moment where it finishes and there's this warbling in the air as the runes begin to light up. As that happens, there's this just slow pulse of energy that washes over all of you, and Shiari, you watch as it emanates up from the room, hits you, and then emanates out into the city, and you watch it just continue, the rain kind of distorting as this happens. You all suddenly have a flash as your memories come back to you, the ones that you'd lost, the ones that you still held on to, now clarified. You see yourselves together, all of you. entering the city. You remember the cult. You remember rumors of a ritual. Gentle and Shiari and Quinn, you remember losing your friends, having them leave you, having them run off for some reason. Alithia disappearing along with Abenadu. You remember worrying about them. You all went to Irwin, learned the information you could about this ritual, learning what they were doing and fearing for the worst, knowing the desperation in your friends' hearts for the things that they longed for. You remember all of you meeting again in the monastery, that confrontation as the ritual completed after your pleas to stop fell on deaf ears. The creature emerging from a tear in the center of the room, and an explosion which caused all of you to forget who you were and where you were and your connection to one another. That pulse passes through you, and that flash causes you to sort of stuns you for a moment, but you look around, fully recognizing one another once again and understanding the gravity of the situation. As the rain falls once again, you hear a screech in the distance, this cry of anguish and pain. And you hear this whistling sound as something very large and fast makes its way in the direction of the monastery. Shiari, you see far in the distance the winged angel once again rise up over the rooftops, and like lightning, whoosh, flashes as fast as it can in the direction of the monastery. Before you even have time to pull an arrow, you see it swoop down through the open doors and into the room, whoosh, stopping itself in place. It looks down at Alithia and Abenadu with disdain in its eyes. All right, so we will go ahead and start at the with any held action. So Quinn, you were going to hold your action. What would you like to do as this thing enters the room?
So before you do it, in case it helps, so my raid action was to cast the major image illusion.
Yes,
to create.
that's right.
Yes.
And I don't know if maybe that might distract it enough to help Quinn. What he's going to do.
Yeah. So you go ahead and cast your spell, creating the illusion of this being in the air above the monastery.
I'm going to have it bellow, "Kneel before me!"
Okay. Shiari, you see as flickering out of the air, the same way as the original, as the Planetar appeared, you see a golden-skinned man with like red flowing hair kind of off to the side, two bright white wings spread out to either side of him, golden armor and bracers adorning his body. He wields a great sword in one hand and looks down, bellowing out towards the monastery. The Planetar looks up in that instance. So I'm going to have you make an intimidation check, Abenadu.
By any chance, does anything give me advantage on this check?
I'll say that being your knowledge of it and actually using the Solar and having prepared that way, I'll give you advantage on it.
Okay, so I have 20. Not a natural 20, just with my bonus it comes to 20.
Okay. All right. Just enough to distract it a bit as the creature, its wings spread out. It is staring down at the two of you, and suddenly there's this earth-shattering roar that emanates from above it, and it looks up, and you see it instinctually bows its head for a moment. Quinn, what would you like to do?
Am I close enough to attack it?
You are.
He takes that moment, kind of looks around, and is just like, I understand, and it's good to see you again. All of you. We'll talk about this later, though, and he just goes to attack.
Okay, so you go rushing up to attack. As you approach the creature, you feel that same kind of whoosh as before, that warbling. I'm going to have you make another intelligence saving throw to move closer.
Oh, natural 20.
Natural 20 succeeds. You feel the pulse rack through you. You only take, however, 6 points of psychic damage as you move through, and 3 points because we just have 3 points of psychic damage as you pass through it, going to attack with your dagger.
Cool. All right. He's going to attack, and I'm going to use 1 ki point.
Yeah, and you have you have advantage on this because of the
cool,
the illusion and the fact that it's kind of prone right now.
All right, cool. So I'm going to attack him with the dagger, and then I'm going to use 1 of my ki points to attempt a stunning strike.
Okay.
Hopefully he's not immune to that. 21 to hit?
21 will hit.
Sweet. He has to make I think it's a con save. Yeah.
Okay.
14 or higher.
Okay. He rolls a 16, so he succeeds on the...
That's cool. Cool. So I'll just try to attack. 7 points of damage with that dagger.
Okay.
Cool. And because this is an action, and you said that the dagger could be used as a monk weapon, with my martial arts thing, can I use that second attack option? Because I can attack once, and then if I'm using a monk weapon, I can do another attack. So it's basically
you have extra attack right now, don't you?
Well, I do, but that's what I was asking though. But it's like when you use the attack action with an unarmed strike or monk weapon on your turn, you can make 1 unarmed strike as a bonus action as well.
So you get 2 attacks with your dagger, and then one attack.
Okay, I can do all of that at once though, right?
Yes.
During this round?
Yeah.
Natural 20.
Nice.
Sweet. 11 points of damage.
11 points, okay.
And then there's just a fist punch.
Fist punch.
20, not natural.
Okay, that also hits.
Cool. 9 points of damage.
And this is always my experience. As soon as you inspire somebody, they just roll nothing but hits.
Right?
You're so inspired right now as you go rushing up and go slashing twice with your dagger. You notice as you make contact with this creature with the dagger, and then with your fists, because your fists are magical too, aren't they? It counts magical attacks. You feel the impact rock the body of this creature, and it don't do that. You see him sort of stagger backwards and looks down at you with this, again, emotionless expression, but a bit of respect at the solid amount of damage you just did.
Awesome.
All right.
That's it.
Okay. Did anybody else have a held action? All right. That'll put it to Ilithia then.
Okay. From where I'm at, I want to try to do this without hurting all of my friends. I want to cast Vitriolic Sphere above the above the Planetar.
Yeah.
Can I just rain acid down on his head?
Yes, you can certainly try.
Okay. So it's a dexterity saving throw.
Okay. Make... he sees on the dexterity saving throw with a 22.
Ooh, okay, so he takes I rolled 21 points of damage. So he
So-
takes half of that, and then he doesn't take the damage next turn
Okay.
at all.
All right. Is it a concentration? Does it keep happening, or is it?
No, it's just if they fail the save, they take 10d4 acid damage, and then at the end of their turn, or the end of the next turn, they take 5d4. But if
Okay.
they succeed, they don't take the second damage.
Okay. So this orb appears above you, then above the Planetar, and rains acid down upon it. You see the Planetar kind of rush off to one side, but not before one of its wings is coated in the acid and begins to sear into it. Lets out a billowing roar as this happens. That will end your turn, I believe. Are you gonna
bonus action?
bonus action?
I use my bonus action to tell Winston and Jeffrey, who have not had their moment in the sun yet, to go after the Planetar.
Okay. Go
I
ahead
want to
and.
put them in between me and it.
Okay. Can you only command? I thought, is it one per bonus action, or you command both at the same time?
Well, this says if you control multiple creatures, you can command any or all of them at the same time.
Okay. So,
As long as you issue the same command.
All right. So go for it.
They add my proficiency bonus. I already put that in the sheet. I'm so smart. Alright, so they each get a slam attack. Winston rolled an 18.
And he still you have advantage until the
Oh.
creature's next turn.
He rolled an 18.
Okay. That will miss.
Extra advantage. And Jeffrey rolled a 17.
That also misses. But the two of them go up and kind of and try to swing at the creature, and the Planetar deflects the blows to the side with the hilt or the shaft of its glaive. All right, that'll put it to Abanadu then.
Okay. Abanadu jumps up over the altar, and the Solar winks out of existence as he releases concentration on that spell. And he begins waving his hands and singing a song, and briefly says, "I hope this works." And he casts Polymorph on the Planetar.
Okay. What are you trying to polymorph him into?
A baby goat.
Baby goat. All right. What's the saving throw on that?
The saving throw is... Does it show it in here?
Wisdom saving throw. It says in
Yeah.
the text there. Okay.
DC is 15.
All right.
And maybe it has disadvantage.
Maybe. However, it rolls an 18 on its wisdom saving throw. So you get up and you call out to it, trying to meld the shape of this Planetar into something much more easy to destroy, for the lack of a better term. The Planetar kind of looks up briefly for a second, noticing that the Solar is gone, and seeing you as it's still on one knee. It winces against the force of the arcane might, and then breaks through the spell as you call out in its direction, and it looks up at you with a fury in its eyes.
Okay, then I'm going to jump down off the altar and move to make sure that I am between myself and Delithia. And pull out my shield.
Okay, so putting yourself between Alithia and the angel.
Yeah.
Okay. That'll put it to Quinlan. Back to your turn. And Kyle, I think you are supposed to be at a D6 right now for your monk die.
I thought it was a D6.
I think it said D4.
Yeah, it's. I have it as D6.
Your-
For the dagger.
Yeah, your daggers
Yeah.
are rolling a D4.
That's cool. I forgot to do that.
Yeah. Just a reminder.
Cool. That is changed.
Okay.
Well, he is gonna try kind of the same thing again. Gonna attack him twice with a dagger, once with the unarmed, and make another con save. Because I kind of want him stunned.
Okay.
And this one doesn't have advantage, right?
Okay. No, you still do. He hasn't had a turn yet. So, but you do have to make the intelligence saving throw before.
Gotcha.
straight
Do I have advantage on that too?
No.
Okay. 18.
That's success. So you take 4 points of psychic damage.
Cool. All right. Let's try to attack him again. 23.
23 will hit.
Cool. So another con save.
Okay. What's your DC?
14.
He actually fails the saving throw with a natural 1.
Yes!
Just barely fails. The natural was the only thing that was going to make it fail.
Good to know. So he is stunned, unless
Okay.
he's immune to that.
I do not believe so. No.
Or be stunned until the end of my next turn.
Yeah.
So
So he doesn't get to do shit.
awesome. So 7 points of damage.
Okay.
Another dagger attack.
With advantage.
Natural freaking 20.
Wow.
9 points of damage.
Remember, you can also use that bardic inspiration die to add your damage if you want to.
Oh, you can. Okay.
Oh, that's good to know. I'll probably save that for when I really need it. And then the unarmed attack. 23.
Also hits.
9 points of damage.
All right. It would count as the die. You could double it for a crit.
It's true.
Okay. All right. So as you just continue to wail on things, now he's kind of stunned in place, stuck in place. That'll put to Shiari's turn. Oh, you're muted.
I'm sorry, I'm always checking what I'm doing and I forget to unmute. I was asking, am I within 30 feet of him?
Where you are, no. If you go down the steps, you will be.
Okay, I go down then. And I would like to use my another of my conclave powers, which is Planar Warrior. And it says that as a bonus action, I can choose one creature I can see within 30 feet. Until the end of this turn, my attacks against that creature ignore its damage resistances. And the next time I hit it on this turn, it takes an additional 1d6 force damage.
Okay, yeah.
So basically, I want to do that, and Shiari focuses as she pulls out the arrow and pulls the bow, and there's like a blue shiny shine around her arrow as she tries to hit him.
And you have advantage because he's stunned. Not that you needed it.
Yeah, it was a natural 20.
Yeah. How many natural 20 is that right now? So
Yeah.
using a tally. Okay, go roll damage on that.
Let me see. Okay. So, it didn't add up the damage. So 12 plus 7, and then 10.
So 19 plus 10. So, yeah.
Yeah, 29, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah.
Okay.
Nice. So
Nice.
Nice. Yeah, and I have my second attack,
Yes.
which is normal.
Okay. You have advantage on this one too.
Yeah. 27 again.
Hits.
Okay.
Does this one also ignore resistances?
No, this one is normal. It's just the next attack, so it's only one.
All right.
If I'm reading the rules correctly.
Okay.
So it's 7 piercing.
All right. So the first arrow you draw, seeing the planter kind of kneeling there, easy target for you. You fire. The arrow passes straight through, just off center in his chest, straight out and embeds itself in the floor behind it. You see that gaping hole in the center there, tore through by this planar canceling or extra dimensional canceling energy arrow. It kind of muffles out as that happens, and you fire off your second arrow. It also hits, this time kind of deflecting as it did before, leaving another scar across its shoulder.
Okay.
Well done, though.
Nice. That's my turn.
Okay. It would be the Planetar's turn, but it can't do anything because it's stunned. Gentle.
Okay. Well, let's see what I can do now. I am going to go ahead and run up and get in melee range, and I'm going to cast Spiritual Weapon.
Okay.
Just behind it, because it's a bonus action. There is the thingy. There it is. So, yeah. So that was a 24 to hit.
24. And did you say you're getting close to the creature, or you're?
Yep.
Okay.
I am.
So that hits. I also need you to make an intelligence saving throw too.
I can do this. 21?
That succeeds. So you
Yes!
take 3 points of psychic damage.
Okay. So my spiritual weapon, you said, did hit, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So you get damage on that.
And let's go. Thingy. Why aren't you damage? Do the damage! It's not doing the damage. Let me roll it. Sorry.
That's okay.
I have to look it up because I don't remember. Do spiritual weapon.
Should
1d8.
be
1d100.
Yeah, exactly.
1d8
Oh.
plus your wisdom. Yeah.
Oh, 1d8 plus 5. That's 7 points of damage.
Okay.
And then I'm going to go ahead and do my normal attack. So with my one-handed warhammer. Do I have advantage on this?
Mhm.
Okay,
He's still stunned.
that's lucky. It's a 23 to hit.
That hits.
That's 11 points of damage. And because I'm a war cleric, I'm going to go ahead and use one of my war cleric abilities and get an extra attack.
Yes. Okay.
And I'm going to hit it again. And with this one, if I hit, I'm going to go ahead and do Divine Strike as well.
Okay.
Doing all the things right now. 18 to hit?
That does not hit. So as you go to strike with this last hammer blow, your spiritual weapon connects in the back for the first time, kind of sending it lurching forward. You slam into it once with your warhammer, sending it lurching back. You go to slam again. This time it just clips the side of the shoulder. You're just slightly off balance, sort of whiffing at the air. Luckily for the Planetar. All right. That ends your turn. Goes back to Alithia.
Okay, he's still stunned, right?
Mm-hmm.
I would like to, seeing that he is no longer a moving target, cast a 4th level Scorching Ray,
Okay.
which means I get 5 rays. If I'm doing the math right.
Yeah, I think so.
It's a-
Sounds right.
Yeah, it's a second level, it's a 1 additional ray for each slot level above second. So yeah, so I get 5 Scorching Rays. Are they at advantage?
Yes.
Okay.
All attack rolls. Yeah.
Do you... I'll do them one at a time.
Yeah.
Okay. Advantage. 27?
Hits.
You want me to just do all the attacks?
Do all the attacks, then we'll just roll the damage all as one.
25.
Hits.
25.
Hits.
27.
Hits.
26.
Hits. So that's all. It's 2d6 per Scorching Ray.
Click 8, 9, 10, 11, 14. 23.
28.
28. I'm so bad at math. That's 4, and then plus 8.
36.
36 points of fire damage!
Okay. Let's see. So all 5 Scorching Rays hit, just slamming into the Planetar, kind of searing its flesh, causing these massive burn marks to appear. It's still kneeling there. It's still holding itself in place. It's looking extremely rough right now, but it is still up.
Okay, Winston and Jeffrey, punch it.
Okay, go Winston and Jeffrey. Both
Go,
of them.
boys!
So,
They have advantage.
yes.
25.
25 hits.
That's 5 bludgeoning damage.
Okay.
And a 15. Jeffrey let me down again.
Okay. Well, Jeffrey's doing his best. Winston though goes and actually gets in a solid crack right into one of the spots where it's like heavily blistered and burned, and the planetary again goes. All right, Abenadu.
Okay. I just realized that I can actually. I thought I could only give one person bardic inspiration at a time, but I can actually give it to more than one person. I just can't give one person it more than once.
Yeah.
So, as a bonus action before I go, I'm going to rush past. I'm going to rush past Gentle, and as I go by, I'm going to sing a little song in his ear, giving him bardic inspiration, and then run around in a circle and throw my spear into the back of the Planetar.
Okay, with advantage still.
24.
24 hits.
So that's 11 piercing damage.
Okay.
And then, do I have enough movement left to run up, grab my spear, and make my second attack to try and push it further into it?
Yeah. I'll let you do that. Go for it.
Okay. Do I need to make a save or anything first?
Yes, you do need to make an intelligence save.
Okay. Cross your fingers, guys, because my intelligence sucks. Oh, son of a...
Okay.
I rolled a 1.
Well, luckily, the creature has been thoroughly weakened by this. You take the damage. You take 10 points of psychic damage. However, that you kind of brace yourself for your voice to leave you. That does not happen this time. You may continue with your.
I'm so relieved. And I look and I smile at everybody, and then I try to force the spear. 26.
Okay, that hits.
It's another 9 points of damage.
Okay. How would you like to kill this creature?
Yeah. As I push it farther in, I drop my shield off my arm, wrap both hands around it, and then I want to go right up through its midsection, right up out of the top of its head, and throw it backwards over my shoulder.
Okay, so as Abenadu comes rushing forward, basically shish kebabs this Planetar with the spear. You drive it up again like granite, just pushing and pushing. You all see the Planetar begin to glow with this dark divine light again as the spear forces its way up its throat and then out the crown of his head. The Planetar kind of lets out one last gasp, and you see for a moment as this thing almost seems relieved at this point to see its journey having ended here, as suddenly Abenadu takes the spear and then just hurls the Planetar back. It goes spiraling through the air out the front steps of the monastery and then lands on the ground, just skidding to a halt.
And I say, that's the end of your story.
All right. The cultist seems, who's just been sort of cowering behind the altar, seems incredibly frightened at this point. He just kind of sits there like frozen in fear for a moment as you guys thoroughly just wreck this Planetar. Any closing things that anybody wants to do before you guys wrap this up? Anything expositional stuff?
Abenadu is going to start grabbing people and hugging them into a big bear hug. It says, "We did it, my friends. We did it. We saved the day. This story will be one I will tell everywhere now. You will all come with me. We will go on tour and tell this story."
And as we're like pressed up against him, it's like, yeah, don't forget the part that you were the one that started this. And he's poking him in the chest with like 2 fingers.
Don't worry, I'm sure you can all remind me of that every day.
Oh, I will.
Now,
Shiari,
If I remember correctly, that solar thing that I cast there, that is more powerful than a planetary, yes?
Yes.
Then that is the next thing that we must defeat.
okay, please do not summon more creatures that will devastate the city again. Can we put that on the list of things not to do, please?
We'll put a pin in it for now.
I really
Yeah.
am very sorry.
I understand, at least, why. I get it.
Yeah,
We've all lost people
yeah.
and friends and family that we would do
Do
most
anything.
anything to see again.
Yeah.
So it's understandable, but with that comes so many more consequences that I don't think the people we miss would appreciate them being the reason for those consequences.
I mean, look around.
Okay, you're not helping, guys.
I am much, much older than all of you, and you teach me new things every day.
Yeah, Shiari will put an arm around Ilithia and say, well, at least we're all here to keep learning. And she's a bit awkward saying that because she's not very charismatic.
I'm not either.
I don't think any of us are.
and with an awkward hug, and as you all kind of make your way out of the front chamber, you see the city beyond, the smoke being clear under the rain that falls. You see people beginning to sort of emerge from their homes, having cowered behind you. You see the cult member, I assume, starts to make a run for it as one of you kind of like grabs on those, and like Quim Rabanadu sort of like grabs him by the back of the scruff and pulls him along. And trailing behind as you guys head down the steps and the sunrise creeps over the western horizon, 2 zombies just kind of down the hilltop. Just, and that's where we'll end our one today.
They're going to get an apartment.
Yeah. Well done, everyone.
Yeah.
That
That's
ended up being-
awesome.
You guys just
So cool.
wrecked that last fight. That was supposed to be dramatic. And like with actual threat, I think like 2 people took like 10 points of damage total. And yeah, wow.
That was awesome.
I was actually kind of worried that my polymorph would work for a moment and then it'd be really anticlimactic.
Well, I'm like, didn't we turn something really big into a chicken?
I did that, yeah.
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 So it's happened before.
Yeah, I've done that.
Yeah. That was amazing though. I very much I let the dice do their work, and you guys told a great story there.
That was a great story. Thank you very much, Sean. You did a great job.
Well,
Yeah,
thank you guys.
it was amazing to play.
Thank you guys for coming. You were awesome.
You guys rocked
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, it would have
It
been
was so much fun.
it'd be nothing without you guys. You guys made some awesome choices and threw me through a loop a couple of times. So I'm excited to have gotten to play with you guys. So Savannah, do you have anything to wrap up? Or I guess I'll just wrap it up if you want me to. So same stuff as usual. All of our music comes from Incomptech. Go check them out online. You can download all their stuff for either your in-home games or it's used on Roll20. So check them out. I didn't use any maps today, but I use Incarnate for my maps in case anybody ever wants to know. I guess thank you to again to Michael and Leonore for coming out and hanging out with us for a couple hours.
And for role playing your friggin' hearts out.
Oh my gosh. You
So-
made
I DM all the time, and so I almost never get to play. So it's a treat for me to actually get to play.
Yeah, and I empathize with you very much. And
So I
that,
appreciate getting to play. Thank you very much.
oh, of course. And if anybody out there that's watching or watches the video, it'll be up on YouTube later this week. And if you're interested in getting involved and getting to play in one of these one shots, much like our lovely companions here got to do, you can check out Roll20 for announcements on, or check out Stupid Gaming for announcements on giveaways in the future that we will be doing for quality one shots and things like that. Otherwise, I guess
Overlay.
check out. Oh yeah, the overlay was made by our lovely Sarah, who does all of our overlays for complex stuff. And you can, if you're interested in having an overlay done for any of your games or any of your streaming needs, go ahead and you can contact her. Her Twitch or Twitter handle should be on the page.
It's above her face too, right now.
Oh, it's on there right now. I don't know what's on the overlay as far as information. I'm a little scatterbrained right now. And yeah, so Valandor tomorrow night. Come and check that out if you like the D&D stuff we do on here. And then Survivors Complex, as always, will be back next Saturday. So thank you all for tuning in and joining us. And for the rest of the night, good night, Internet.
Good
night, Internet.
Night.
Bye.